This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
Okay. Hello, good evening, everyone. I call the meeting to order. My name is Vern Carlson, and I'm Chairman of the Planning and Zoning, and welcome to the Planning and Zoning Commission for the October 7th, 2024. My name is Vern Carlson, and I am the Chairman of the Commission. And let it be said that I don't suppose that we're going to get this, but we're going to try to end the meeting somewhere around 10, but it could be a little bit later. Before we get started, let me introduce our staff to you. My extreme right is Andy Bellavacqua, is our town engineer. Next to him is Alan Fredrickson, our land use administrator. My extreme left is Catania, she's our court reporter. Next to her is Christine Hilton, she is our staff secretary. With that, Commission?
Carrie Matty, I'm an alternate.
Ken Quick, a regular member.
Rod Williams, regular member.
Paul Wyman, Vice Chair.
Brian Cummings, Secretary.
Mark Parisi, alternate.
Okay, with that being said, we've got, well, pretty large crowd here tonight, and it's a short agenda, but there's a lot to be said, I presume. So without any further, Alan, has there been any changes to the agenda?
Yes, there is a change. Item number 6, application number P2416 regarding 400 Valley Service Road will not be heard this evening. It should be heard next month if that's of interest to you.
Okay, that's the only change?
Yes, it is.
Okay, very good. So if you're here for that application, you certainly won't be heard tonight in respect to that. Brian, would you read the call for the, we have a public hearing, couple of public hearings tonight, and some site plan. If you would read the call for the public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, this is P2413S. Continuation of the special permit application of FFDC EJV2 LLC applicant, Shiv LLC, owner relative to 104 Washington Avenue, map 73, lot 121, plan entitled Fine Fettle Dispensary, 104 Washington Avenue, North Haven, Connecticut. Prepared by Lark Architects LLC, dated 5/31/24, scale 1 inch equals 20 feet, CB20 zoning district.
Okay, well, let it be said that we're going to take the site plan at the same time, and that is P24-13. Would you read that in, Brian,
Sure,
since there's so many people here?
Sure, as Vern said, this is P24-13. Continuation of the site plan application of FFDC EJV2 LLC applicant Shiv LLC, owner relative to 104 Washington Avenue, map 73, lot 121, plan entitled Fine Fettle Dispensary, 104 Washington Avenue, North Haven, Connecticut, prepared by Lark Architects LLC, dated 5/31/24, scale 1 inch equals 20 feet, CB20 zoning district.
Okay, with that being said, Amy, if there's anybody in the room here that doesn't have any interest in these particular applications, if you could step out. If there's anybody outside that needs to step in, I want to have everybody have their turn to speak. So I'm sure it looks like everybody wants to speak. So, Amy, it's all yours.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Amy Suchins, attorney with office at 135 Broad Street in Milford, Connecticut, here representing the applicant. With me tonight, Ben Zaxter.
Can't hear anything.
This one?
No, that goes.
We don't have any amplification of voices. These microphones are to record and to broadcast, but it's not to amplify. So we've got to do the best we can. That's what we've got.
Amy,
Sorry about the feedback. We'll work it out.
Pick it up a little bit, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, perhaps if we got to turn it sideways or something so they can hear, we certainly want everybody to hear this.
Yeah, certainly. I'll speak up, and if you still can't hear me, let me know. But Amy Suchins, we're here. Ben Zacks could not be here tonight, so with me tonight is Rick Carbray, who is the CEO of Fine Fettle. He's also a pharmacist by training, happy to answer any operational questions that we might have remaining. And then the other person with me tonight here at the table is Tom Daly, who is a professional engineer at SLR. We provided, in accordance with the staff comments we had received from the town engineer at the last meeting, and then in the staff report with recommended conditions of approval if granted. The plan before you that we submitted addresses all of those comments. We'll get to the school question, I think, which is the primary thing, but I did want to highlight that all of those things were addressed, including the reestablishment. There was a buffer at the back of the property. There is a buffer there. There's some additional landscaping shown on the plan. I know that had been raised by one of the neighbors, so I just wanted to highlight that. Again, Tom can answer any questions you might have about that plan. It also does show, there was a question about turning movements to for trucks. The plan includes a depiction that the box truck that would be the size we're using to get deliveries at the facility is able to maneuver around the site. That's included there. So with that, I'm going to turn to the issue that was sort of where we left off at the last meeting and what the issue raised in the update to the staff report with respect to Paul Mitchell and its interpretation or characterization as a school under the zoning regulations. I won't reiterate what I said last time, but the fact is that our position, consistent with the CA 20 regulations, is that this is, and what you'll see in the materials I'll hand out, this was approved as a vocational school. It is classified separately from your other schools in town. It's not a college. That is a separate use. And it's also not obviously a K-12 school. And we think that under your regulations, both specifically with respect to alcohol and sales of liquor, but also your regulations as a whole, all are consistent with the idea that a vocational school is not the type of school that was intended to be within the zone of interest outlined in this regulation. So let me hand out the couple of things I want to give you. So as I noted at the outset, the first thing at the top of the list, or top of the materials, is in fact the approval for the Paul Mitchell School. You'll see that it was noted and approved as a vocational school under the regulations. As I said earlier, a school is otherwise not allowed in the CA 20 zone. I know Alan highlighted for you a couple of one other thing. The second handout that says Town of North Haven at the top, this is a copy of the assessor's records that are available. With the assessor's records, they classify each of the uses in town for the purposes of being able to track and identify what the uses are, obviously for assessment purposes. When you check off the school box on their search, these are all of the 19 locations that are deemed to be schools, and also including daycare centers, which I thought was interesting, all classified for the purposes of your regulation. I'd note for you that nowhere on here is Paul Mitchell. All of the Town of North Haven elementary and other schools are noted, as are ACES and the Slate School, Quinnipiac University, and the like. So those are all highlighted. And then with respect to the comments that are included, or the approvals that are included in Alan's staff report, he included 3 variances related to the shopping center across the street. With respect to the, I believe one was the most recently, one about 6 months or so ago, last September, actually not quite, with respect to, with respect to the restaurant in the center, as well as previous approvals for denial of a retail package store within the Stop and Shop portion of the center, and then a separate restaurant back in 2008, also for a service bar. I think what you'll see when you look at the materials that we have provided, as well as what Alan has, is that although variances were granted or denied with respect to that particular property, there has not been a uniform treatment of this regulation across town. The commission has given new special permits to other restaurants in town that are adjacent to school, or excuse me, within the separation distance for schools and for public buildings. In fact, this building. So what you have in the next portion of your materials is you have the, again, using the GIS materials, 43 Broadway, which is the LLC entity is Amici Corner Deli, but it's the tavern right over here adjacent to the highway. That is, as you can see, within 500 feet of this building, which is one of the properties that is covered by the separation distance. And just for the sake of clarity, I did include, they've gotten previous variances related to the expansion of the building, the front patio. None of the variances were associated with a liquor permit use. And in fact, when you look at your regulations, it requires a new special permit when you change the ownership of the restaurant or its management, because that requires a new liquor permit. So since the adoption of your separation distance requirement, there was a new special permit that was issued back in, believe it was 2015 or so, that talks about the that location and a number of other uses. The same thing with respect to the Ludal restaurant at 2830 Broadway. That was also the location of a restaurant within 500 feet of this building. That's with both properties, particularly with Ludal, there was a restaurant there. But what has since happened, and is again, as noted in the regulations, you have to get this new special permit, and there was an expansion of Ludal from its original location. So as a non-conforming use, because it's within 500 feet of this building, there should not have been an expansion of the special permit to allow additional liquor sales. What I included as the last photo with respect to the Ludal approval is just a photo where you can see historically from Google Maps that Ludal was not in the entirety of the building, but this commission issued a special permit without a variance, given the proximity to this building. And then the last one I wanted to highlight, because I think it's frankly most analogous to this issue of a school, is 61 State Street, which has, I think for a long time was River Tavern, is now, I think it's Abate pizza restaurant. You in fact issued a special permit back in 2023 with respect to the, again, September of 2023, with respect to the change of ownership and a new liquor permit for that location. Again, also non-conforming under the regulations, because directly across the street is Elizabeth Ives School. They were actually noticed in the application materials. The school was noticed in connection with the special permit. So it's our position that when you look at the totality of your regulations, you have not uniformly and consistently determined what was a school, what required a liquor permit, and I think, frankly, is inconsistent with the position that's been set forth at the last meeting, that the, particularly that Paul Mitchell, which is not even a school like Elizabeth Ives, but is a vocational school, inconsistent. So in sum, I think I'd reiterate what I noted at the last meeting, that looking at the totality of your regulations, what constitutes a school, public parochial, K-12, a college or university, as well as whether it's a vocational or technical school or the business school that you have in other parts of your regulations. I don't think that the holding that this is, that Paul Mitchell is a school for the purposes of your regulation and this requirement is consistent. So with that, I have nothing further. Happy to answer any questions. Obviously, Tom is here to address any of the questions you might have about the technicalities of the plan, but otherwise, we're happy to hear any other public comment and wrap up.
Okay, let me get into just the commission, Amy, if
Sure.
there's anybody here on the
If
committee.
I can sort of just comment on a couple of things. But before we deal with the site plan, we're speaking about the eligibility of the site. And I disagree with Amy's assessment that it hasn't been consistent. I think you've been entirely consistent, but it's a complex situation. As Amy mentioned, there was a restaurant where Ludau is, and they had a liquor permit, which makes the site eligible. If they expand it, again, it's still eligible. The site is eligible. Bemidji also had a liquor permit that was on Broadway, so the site was eligible. They still had a process that was the process. You'd have to go back through, but in terms of just speaking to the site eligibility, that has been consistent. And I understand, Amy, what you're saying about the situation with Paul Mitchell, the school. It says school in the reg in terms of the portion that pertains to the site eligibility. It simply says a school. That's the way it's always been treated going back. So all I'm saying is, Amy's making an argument, but
Right,
I'm
of course.
saying no, I don't believe it's been inconsistent, but I do believe it's complex. And there's a lot of different circumstances for different things, but I think we've tried to handle that in a manner that is totally consistent from property to property.
Alan, also, Bates was had a liquor permit before it was a Bates. So that's
That goes back
consistent
a
with
long
what
way.
you're saying.
A bit.
That goes back to the early 60s.
Very, very
And, when you go back to that particular
Right.
liquor permit, way before Charlie Hack and all of that, but going back to chefs and what that was, but and then kind of similar to the situation at 97 Washington, where the school came in after the liquor permit. Save Right is one of the prime examples of that. The Paul Mitchell School, there's nothing in our regs that prevents the school from going within a certain distance of the liquor store. But there's something that prevents the liquor store from coming within a certain distance of the school, and that was the case over on State Street. Again, the site was eligible. I have to say, that was more than 20 years ago, and that precedes my time in this position, and I didn't do any research as to how it was, but I can tell you, as you're saying, Paul, there was a liquor permit that was on that property. So I don't believe it's been inconsistent.
I understand you mean.
But I do believe it's a complex equation, if you will.
Okay, Alan, thank you. Okay, the commission, Ken, you have any questions for Amy before we get further down?
I will, but not And not at the moment.
You don't have any now? No
No,
questions now?
that's just,
You have anything for Amy?
I don't have any questions right now.
Okay. Anything for Amy?
No, I'm going to hold off until after
Okay.
public comment.
Okay,
Can-
very good. Amy?
Can I just check one more thing here? Just a little housekeeping, if we can put this property search results from the assessor's office into the record as Exhibit 2-A. And then the approval for the North Haven Academy change of use form as Exhibit 2B. We'll mark the GIS printouts, 43 Broadway as the top sheet as Exhibit 2C. Mark the change of, the site plan special permit application for 61 State as 2D. 2E will be Mr. Daly's hard work here on the site plans. And 2F will be Mr. Daly's narrative and response relative to the comments. Sorry about that. but-
Okay, you got anything else to bring in at this moment? No, very good. So we're good with that. With that being said, Amy, would you continue with your presentation with your next speaker?
Yeah, I mean, happy to have Tom walk through what he changed. If you
If there-
want to hear from the public first, whatever's your preference.
If there's anything you want to bring in, please bring it in now, otherwise
yeah,
you
I'd
can
like to
take
hear his
notes.
presentation.
Yeah, so everyone
Yeah,
hears it.
yes.
Yeah, we want to hear everything that
Sure.
you got.
Sure. So for the record, Tom Daly with SLR Consulting. I'm a professional engineer licensed in the state of Connecticut. The testimony that was presented to you in terms of the site plan that was presented to you at last month is still consistent with the site plans that were presented to you this evening. Simply though, we went ahead, one of the comments was we had to get an A2 survey. Godfrey Hoffman prepared an A2 survey, and that allowed us to drop the site plan on the A2 survey. In addition to that, we had received comments from both your town planner and your town engineer, so we incorporated all those comments into the plans. It's my professional opinion that the testimony and the site plan related elements that were presented to this commission last month are still consistent this month. We just simply provided additional details to those. In addition to the A2 survey that's in this package, you'll also see a photometric lighting plan, which is a requirement to show the foot candles that are on the property. And we also provided as Amy indicated, we ran an auto turn around it to show a box culvert, a box truck could easily maneuver around the site. But I can tell you that the revised plans, my opinion is we address all the staff comments that were in the two staff letters. And frankly, there's no major revisions to the plans that were presented to you, even minor revisions to the plans. It was simply dropping it on the A2 survey and making it work out. Thank you.
Making it the A2. Yeah,
Correct.
Did you have the foot candles on there?
It's on sheet
Well, yeah, I didn't see it.
SL1
Okay.
we had a lighting expert put together the photometric
Sure.
plan.
Okay, thank you so much, Tom.
Yep.
You good with that, Tom?
I'm all-
Okay, good. So, now, Commissioner, I'm gonna open up this up to the public. It'll be our next step, and so it'll be a while before we ask any questions. So if you have anything at this point, please say it now. Otherwise, we'll wait till later. Amy, you'll take notes? I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we're gonna open this up to the public. We're gonna give you 3 minutes, only because of the size of the crowd. I'd love to give you more, but the size of the crowd just won't allow us to do it. And if you could keep it short, we would have certainly appreciated it. Please don't be redundant of what went on last month, because if it is, we're just gonna have to cut you off, and I don't wanna be the same thing over and over and over again. So if you have something new to add to us, please step forward. We're gonna look for the people that are in favor of this application. The people in favor of this application. By all means, speak up, Billy.
Can I come over here? Oh, yeah. Good evening, Bill Gambardella, Hartford Turnpike. How are you?
Okay? Yeah,
This one.
that's it.
Good evening, Bill Gambardella, Hartford Turnpike, North Haven. I just wanted to comment about the school and the history of the Paul Mitchell Academy. If you remember, and I think Vern, you'll remember this, 95 House was first on State Street. Then came the Paul Mitchell Academy when the 95 House closed down. Paul Mitchell Academy moved out, App Foundation moved in. App Foundation was there, which is technically a school for the people who are recovering addicts. Across the street, later on, we permitted 12% brewery. If you look at Paul Mitchell Academy, where they moved into the center of town, into the Camden Cleaners building, which is the other building they're trying to, which is the same owners they were trying to get the Fennel Corporation into. The package store that was in the shopping center behind it has always existed. That shopping center has always had a package store. For as long as I can remember, it's been there. When I was a kid, it was there. So I know it's been there long before Paul Mitchell. So I don't see how we differentiate between
North
the
Haven
two.
Library
second,
will be
Bill.
closing in 30 minutes. Public computers, copiers, and Wi-Fi will be shutting down in 15 minutes. All purchases from the bookstore and cafe, along with library card applications, must be completed by 7:45. Thank you.
Okay.
Just for a point of fact, it was next to Roller Haven, if you remember that.
Okay, thank you very much, Bill. Okay. Someone in favor? Anyone else in favor? And if there's anybody here in favor, please put your hand up so I know who wants to speak here.
Thank you.
No, speak into that, into the other one.
Yeah, do
That's it.
both.
You need the
Both
two
of them?
You need the two of them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Roz Gambardella, 1014 Hartford Turnpike, longtime North Haven resident, and I am a medical marijuana user. I got certified at the beginning of the program. I had a terrible car accident last year. I was unable to get to the dispensary and had to rely on somebody to drive me there, which was difficult. And I fully support the idea of having a medicinal dispensary in this area. I go to Branford. I work with wonderful pharmacists there at the Rise dispensary, but I would wish that there was something closer. And I have to see a doctor to do that. You don't need to see a doctor to go get a beer. So it's just something that I'd like the commission to consider. I think would be good for North Haven.
Okay, thank you very much, Marge. Anyone else like to speak in favor? Okay. Yep, you got both two mics, that's it.
Hello. Hi, my name is Sachi Patel,
You're gonna have to speak it up.
Can you spell the first name?
S-A-C-H-I, Patel, P-A-T-E-L. This is Vishal Patel, V-I-S-H-A-L, of 11 Revere Road, North Haven. I have a petition with about 105 signatures in support of Fine Fettle opening in North Haven, which I have a copy for the committee. And I have a statement prepared.
You can pass that out afterwards, miss, because you got 3 minutes there, so please use your time sparingly.
So firstly, I want to share some insight on my brother's life, in his life story. He was born at 24 weeks, 1 pound, 4 ounces, and is now 36 years old, a true medical miracle. As a result of his premature birth, he has had low oxygen circulation to multiple areas of his body, thus becoming legally blind at birth. He spent the first 6 months of his life in the NICU, where he underwent multiple life-saving procedures, one being a hernia repair and another repairing an infected small intestines. He would have died from sepsis if they hadn't repaired it. At the age of 17, he suffered from seizures and epilepsy because of his premature birth. He is now on a medicine number 10 of 11 approved for epilepsy and has found his long-term solution with the help of cannabis. He currently takes seizure medication and 5 milligrams of cannabis every single day as his treatment plan. His doctor was the one to recommend such a protocol, as cannabis slows down the firing of neurons in his brain responsible for contracting when seizures occur. At the age of 19, he started suffering from shoulder dislocations, where to date he's had a total of 24 dislocations, 2 failed surgeries, a pinched nerve, and 6 years of pain management, and he's currently recovering from a shoulder reverse surgery he had done on September 4th, 2024 at Cleveland Clinic in Ohio. His shoulder was so sensitive we would drive over a speed bump and become dislocated. The protocol for leaving the hospital is a prescription of oxycodone. The surgery he had done as a premature baby was so physically aggressive In 2018, at the age of 30, he had a bowel obstruction where he was in the surgical ICU for 6 weeks, unconscious on a ventilator with his abdomen exposed and vacuum sealed. He went on to have a skin graft covering his stomach, leaving him with no abdominal muscle. He went on medication so strong his brain wouldn't remember to function to breathe on its own, thus being on a ventilator. I only mention my brother's medical history in detail to share how extensive it has been and how we've been able to give him back his quality of life with pain management with the use of cannabis. He has been exposed to all types of addictive drugs that could have caused him to become a drug addict, but that is far from the truth. I'd like to talk about myself and share some of my demographics. I'm a 25-year-old tax accountant who works in corporate America, with my previous employer being Deloitte, the #1 accounting firm in the world. Never once have I been asked to submit a drug test, and ironically, had a client who was in the cannabis industry. With high-stress careers, more and more individuals are turning away.
Miss, you have much more?
Not much more.
Okay. Go ahead. With the handicap, please do. Continue.
More and more individuals are turning away from alcohol as a stress reducer and prefer to unwind with the use of cannabis. It's a lifestyle choice that's becoming very popular. If corporate American can be progressive, why can't the town of North Haven? I grew up in this town and currently in the market to purchase my first home. The mill rate in North Haven just went up this past year, increasing taxes. Surrounding towns have allowed cannabis retailers collecting tax revenue per each transaction. Ben from Fine Federal, the last hearing, had projections of $150,000 to $300,000.
Mr. Man, that's a call. Huh?
There's two people.
Oh, two people? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
I'm representing
Go
my
ahead.
family.
Keep going.
Projections of $150,000 to $300 of tax revenue for the town. As someone who takes all factors into consideration, North Haven isn't being held with high revere I once had for it due to its lack of progressiveness. The town of North Haven needs to market themselves to the younger generations. Individuals 25 to 35-year-olds who are at the peak of their careers are now shifting focuses on where to settle down and plant roots. Despite the tax revenue for the town, cannabis is a lifestyle choice that isn't going anywhere, creating ease of regulated access to help save lives. Back in 2018, there was an overdose in New Haven on K2, synthetic marijuana. Additionally, the business Safer Vapor on 346 State Street on August 6, 2024, was raided for the sale of loose-leaf marijuana and marijuana edibles. Cannabis has already entered this town. Why not make it safe and collect tax revenue for its transactions? Lastly, I'd like to talk about my parents, Naveen and Bhavna Patel of 11 Revere Road, who have been living in North Haven since 1980 and 1985. They have built a life in this town, raising 3 children and owning 2 businesses. We would like to share a perspective as a package store owner of Candid Wine and Spirit. We have seen a shift in our sales to include non-alcoholic beer, wine, and CBD-infused beverages. And most recently, THC 5 mg seltzer, which is cannabis-infused beverages. The Department of Consumer Protection has granted us a permit to sell such item. A consumer aged 21 plus pays for each can, a can deposit, sales tax, plus an additional $1 per can that is remitted to the state of Connecticut when we file our monthly sales and use taxes. In order for us to legally sell this item, we needed to take our permit that was issued by DCP to the town clerk for a stamp to authorize for business. We received the stamp on August 22nd, 2024. The current town regulation put into effect September 3rd deems cannabis illegal, so how should we conduct business as we follow the state of Connecticut for guidance? We are in full support of Fine Federal. The $1 per can that is collected is remitted to the state of Connecticut. Fine Federal tax revenue per transaction directly benefits the town of North Haven.
Okay, thank you very much. Did a good job. Okay,
We're gonna mark for exhibits 2-1.
okay, is there anyone else that'd like to speak? Sir?
Good evening. So I'm advocating on behalf of the military. I'm a United States Marine Corps vet. This being said, I'm currently rated with the VA. It's been more than nothing but a battle.
Whatever your name and address.
Jay Patel.
For the record.
I'm in Revere Road. They're actually my in-laws. As a veteran, it's been so difficult to, just for PTSD, to get access to cannabis. Not a lot of us choose alcohol. Cannabis would be a better route to heal symptoms. It's been a rough battle with the VA for about 9 years now, trying to get my card, trying to get approved, only because there's so much scrutiny from the government. With this addition, it would help a lot of us veterans, not only from a mental standpoint, from stop abusing alcohol, and help mental state of mind. That's all I have for this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? Anyone else like to speak? Put your hand up, mister.
Sorry.
Come forward.
Not to reiterate.
Nobody wants
Sure.
that.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, there's a chain.
Thank you. This,
Into the other one.
Yeah, do
Okay.
both.
okay. Sorry for taking so long. I was built more like my Midwestern aunts than some of the skinny models you see all the time. If you just give me 1 second.
Just speak up
We can
a
have
little
your
louder,
name
miss.
and
Oh,
address.
sorry. Alex Johnson, 50 Fallon Drive.
You say 15 or 50?
50.
Thank you.
Apologies. So the first point I would like to bring up is the fact that this town has been traditionally very business friendly. And the fact that we are all of a sudden restricting what businesses are allowed and not allowed in this town can set a very dangerous precedent. That's not something that people that even may be on the borderline of controversial would want to see in this town if they were interested in seeking a permit to bring their business here. On top of that as well, apologies. The economic industry is changing. It's a lot more becoming of a service industry instead of a retail industry, where it's more about the actual, what it can provide versus the actual items itself or the service that it can provide. So this is a mix of both. Not only are you buying, but they are providing a service and aiding people with, like we've seen, that are in the military, that lovely Miss Gambardella, Mrs. Gambardella, sorry, has told you in pain management and in terms of medicinal. And I know that this is a recreational permit, but as she said, the nearest medicinal place is all the way in Brantford. If you're not able to drive, it's a 2-hour bus ride. I've shown several of you.
Let me explain. You brought this to our attention last
Yes.
month. You know, you don't have to be repetitiously on the same thing.
No, I
So if you
understand.
got
It's
something
a
new,
very,
bring
yeah,
it
it's
up.
a very short point. But the fact that having this here versus people who are in pain and cannot travel far distances via public transportation would be a great service to this town and to people in this town. As well for the fact that this town is firmly believed in the freedom of commerce and the freedom of the foundations that this country was built on, as well as it fills a space. Like, we are seeing an uptick and not an uptick sometimes, and it fall down in businesses wanting to come, not come. They are offering to fill a space now. They are offering to open a business now. They are offering to give us tax revenue now instead of waiting another 6 months for another business to come. It is better to take what the money we can get now versus waiting.
Can you wind it up?
Yeah, I understand.
The time is actually up.
Okay. My final point is the fact that in our area, I was going to print off a map, apologies, my printer wasn't working, that, as I've said, a lot of the dispensaries are not in this area. Further north, it's a very huge space. We would attract a lot of people coming out of town to come and spend their money here because they're going to the dispensary here because it's closer, and then going and spending at our Stop and Shop and our
Alex,
Target.
We've got that. Thank you very much, yeah. Anyone else like to speak? Anyone else like to speak in favor? I'm happy to hear anybody that'd like to speak in favor of this. Okay. Okay, with that, we're gonna go to opposition. Now, anyone would like to speak in opposition to this application, please raise your hand. Nobody wants to speak?
Tom White.
Oh, Tom? Okay.
I'm White, Summer Lane. Last month, I gave 6 examples of children across the nation who were poisoned and overdosed from ingesting marijuana edibles. I was only able to read 6. Here are the other 6 examples. St. Louis, Missouri, November 11th, 2022. 6 middle school students got sick after eating marijuana candy edibles, and 3 were transported to the hospital. Bryan, Texas, March 2nd, 2023. 3 high school students were rushed to the hospital after consuming marijuana edibles containing THC. Boston, Massachusetts, May 2nd, 2023. 4 students at the upper campus. 1 were taken to a Boston hospital after 3 ingested a cannabis-infused chocolate edible, and 1 was transported after vaping. New Haven, Connecticut, April 7th, 2022. 5 high school students from Hill House High School were taken to the hospital after ingesting a marijuana edible. Arcata, California, May 26, 2022. 3 third-grade students were sickened after ingesting cannabis edible gummies brought in by a classmate.
Good evening. The North Haven Library will be closing in 15 minutes. Please begin to make your final selections for checkout at this time. Thank you.
New Britain, Connecticut, September 17, 2024. 2 middle school students had a severe reaction when they consumed cannabis edibles. Both were treated by EMS. I have copies of the list of the only 6 purposes for which the 3% municipal recreational cannabis sales tax revenue can be utilized. Mary's going to distribute them now. Please vote no, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom. Anyone else like to speak?
We'll mark this exhibit 2-2.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commission. My name is, thank you. Good evening, my name is Lana Claire Ives. I reside at 369 Mansfield Road, 367 Mansfield Road, 371 Mansfield Road, and 2605 Ridge Road. I spoke last time, so I'm just going to be brief. There's really not a need for something like this. This is a special application throughout Hamden and the surrounding communities. There are places to buy marijuana if one so chooses. I think that the town has been clear because the last time they passed an amendment saying that really there's no need to have dispensaries in the town of North Haven. There are plenty of nearby communities that are servicing individuals that need this, and when we have a huge epidemic of drugs in our country, especially with our young people, and sometimes we don't talk about these problems, but we have the highest episodes of overdose in our country for young people in years. When I was a child, we never saw this, but we do now. Marijuana is a gateway drug to utilizing any other drugs that one might utilize. I'm sorry for the people who have medical problems that they need this for and they feel like they can't get it anywhere else, but there are places that we don't really need that here in North Haven. So I would really, really hope that the commission thinks about our young people and the things that they're suffering through right now, and we don't need more suffering. And I'm happy that the town has a methadone clinic in its town over by State Street and Saco Point Road. I think that's a true commitment to our young people to say to them, listen, you have an opportunity to get off of heroin or major drugs, and we are offering this to you in North Haven. I think that's a great stance that North Haven has had, and I think it's commendable. And I think it should keep on that position And other towns want to do what they want, that's fine. But there are many places they can do it. I'm proud of the town of North Haven for having that methadone clinic here in our town and to support people with addiction. Thank you.
Thank you, Lon. You don't need the applause. Anyone else like to speak in opposition?
How you doing? My name is,
Speaking of both, please.
all right. My
Just
name is
tip it up.
Joshua Calderon,
Yes.
and I live at 5000 Ridge Road. I just wanted to provide some context after Lana just spoke. I'm 28 years old. I've come to North Haven since I was in elementary school. So in terms of accessibility, when it comes to a drug that just a couple of years ago, even having it in your possession would get you arrested, let alone selling it, I think it's very important to take a stance as, again, a different part of Connecticut as North Haven. I think that we're positioned even close to New Haven, Norwalk, and if you go up to New York or to Massachusetts, you'll have more than 20 options to, get whatever type of substance you'd like. And I think it is important to keep in mind the youth and, keep things into perspective, because I think accessibility is definitely not a problem for really any substance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, John. Folks, we know you're in favor. Please, don't applaud. Come.
Good evening, Commission, and good evening, everyone. My name is Marilyn Calderon. I live at 5000 Ridge Road, and I am all about prevention. I am a mom of 3 boys in the town of North Haven, and I feel that although it's heart-wrenching to hear the stories that were shared with us tonight, and I'm deeply, deeply empathetic to them, I think with all the dispensaries that are taking place in a hold of many communities throughout the nation, let alone in the community and the state of Connecticut, there's plenty of nearby places and spaces to actually purchase those items. I think nowadays, especially having had the experience of working in the North Haven High School programs for the open choice programs that would house in our students from New Haven and different surrounding towns coming into North Haven to have the open choice program, I learned firsthand how easily accessible drugs are for our children, let alone for our children in different ages and stages of development. When we look at that birth to 5-year-old program going into the kindergarten, when you have kindergarten through 6th graders already having that knowingness about drugs, because they are actually coming across it in their home environment. Therefore, I am all about prevention. I am hoping that all of you stick by a no to this establishment in the town of North Haven, because I truly believe that people that come into North Haven want a better life for their children. And I think that if we can be preventative and really take the stance of being very different from a lot of communities that are looking at it from a revenue base, I'd rather pay more taxes than to have people actually have an addiction that's going to harm us in the long run. So let's stick up for our students, our children, and the ages and stages of our development, whether or not we need it, and then open up those dispensaries elsewhere, but not in our hometown. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mel. I guess. Okay, would anyone else like to speak in opposition of this? No one wants to speak? No one else wants to speak? Okay. With that, Amy, do you want to?
I guess there were a couple of comments about if there might be questions after the public spoke, but we have nothing further. I think we've said, the only thing I did want to put in is I just have a copy of the Commission's decision from last month. There were a couple of comments about the ban that went into effect, so I just wanted to make it clear in this record. So this is just a copy of the decision, or the minutes from the last meeting. Just so it's clear. But happy to answer any other questions. Otherwise, we don't have anything further.
Okay, 1 second. Does the commission have any questions at this time?
No, it would be in deliberation.
No? Okay. Okay.
And we'll mark the last document, the notice of decision from last month's meeting, Exhibit 2-G.
Okay.
Vern, I actually might have a question. Regarding one of the statements regarding the THC beverages that are able to be sold, is that an accurate statement?
That under Connecticut law, hopefully I'm on both mics, under Connecticut law, there was just a change this year, and liquor stores can
Good
sell.
evening. The North Haven Library will be closing in 5 minutes. Please bring all items to check out at this time. Have a nice evening.
Sorry, Amy.
One of many. Liquor stores can sell THC-infused beverages up to a certain percentage limit. I haven't dealt with it on the liquor permitting side. They are obviously able to be sold in a adult use dispensary, adult use establishment, but there is the provision, and obviously I'm aware of other liquor stores. I live in Wallingford, and I've seen them there, so it does. But I have not had to look at it in the context of your ban language or how it's dealt with in other places.
Thank you.
You good? You good?
Yep.
You good? Everybody's good on the commission? Okay, now, has the staff got any more questions? Okay, well, I'm gonna close this.
I would like to say, I'd like to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yep, I just wanted to say.
I thought.
Well, I wanted to say before you close the public hearing.
Okay,
so,
please.
I'm in favor, and I just want to put that on the record. I don't think what's up for deliberation right now is whether or not it's legal to smoke weed recreationally. It's whether or not the site is suitable, and I don't see any reason why it shouldn't go.
Okay, very good. Okay, anything else from the commission? Okay, well, with that being said, Amy, and if there's nothing additional, I'm sure. Okay, with that being said, this public hearing is closed. So, nothing
Mr.
else
Chairman, do you want to deliberate on that?
I was just gonna go to the commission in respect to that to see if they did want to do that. Do you want to deliberate on this application? Maybe we can clear some of the people out of the room, or do you want to wait and we'll deliberate later? Later.
Later.
I don't care.
It's up to you.
What do you want to do, Brian?
I think we can wait.
You want to wait?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Okay. Okay, folks, we're going to wait and deliberate when it's time to deliberate. So we're going to go on. We're going to move ahead. That being said, that public hearing is closed. We're going to move ahead. Brian, would you agree to call for the special permit on P2814S?
Okay, this is P2414S. Special permit application, Quinnipiac University, applicant and owner relative to 5,100 and 5,110 Ridge Road, map 97, lots 2 and 3, plan entitled Quinnipiac University, Hamden, Connecticut Education Center, 5,100 and 5,110 Ridge Road, North Haven, Connecticut, prepared by Nathan L. Jacobson and Associates Incorporated, dated May 22nd, 2024, revision June 7th, 2024, revision July 10th, 2024.
Hold it.
There's no amplification with it.
I'll try to
Sorry
speak
about
up.
that. It's for recording only.
And that's the scale equals 1 inch equals 20 feet, R40 zoning district.
Okay, that's on a special permit.
Mr. Chairman, point of order. I'd like to request a postponement of the meeting. You're well above your capacity for the room.
I don't think we're well above it at all.
53 people, says it right there.
We're-
It says tables and chairs, 53.
Yeah, we have half of it with just chairs, half of it with tables and chairs.
Come on.
No, come on.
Do
I don't
have to go to
understand
the
your
fire
point.
Okay.
You can if you want.
Okay, we taking a point of order.
I figured you would.
Scott.
But
good with it?
I'll give you this.
With the,
You good with what we got?
yeah,
Okay.
I don't care. What do you want to do?
I'll continue.
I think we're good.
But,
Let's get-
but hold on a second. If we want to thin this out a little bit, can we get the folks who are here, who are not interested in the Quinnipiac University
I
application?
was gonna get this read in. Go ahead. Finish it up. If you're not interested,
There's people
Go.
outside, they're still out after the sign.
We got people wrapped around the building.
And they can't even get in the.
Okay. All right, I'm not aware of that.
They're not wrapped around the
People in the
building.
hallway, there's people out in the sidewalk.
give that one a minute. Folks, we can take a 5-minute break here just to get this straightened out. Brian, would you read the, I'm gonna take the site plan at the same time, Bernie. It's agreeable, I'm gonna read it in just because there's so much interest in this.
Okay.
Brian, would you read that in place?
Tell everybody to be quiet, I can't hear.
Come on, folks. You gotta be quiet if you're gonna be in here.
Alan's outside.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
We good?
This is P20,
There are-
P24
There are a few more people who are outside, a few more. There are a few more seats. We do have people here. I'm not sure how many people are interested in this, or if there are people, everyone has a right to be in the public hearing, for sure. No question about that. But if we're trying to, get something accomplished here, I mean, there are some more seats here.
If there's anybody interested in this, after someone.
Well, they are.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
I gotta get, folks, I really gotta get the meeting going here, so whatever we're gonna do here, but if anybody's interested in this public hearing, please be here. Now, Brian,
Okay,
read on.
this is P24-14. Site plan application of Quinnipiac University, applicant and owner relative to 5,100 and 5,110 Ridge Road, map 97, lots 2 and 3, plan entitled Quinnipiac University, Hamden, Connecticut Education Center, 5,100 and 5,110 Ridge Road, North Haven, Connecticut, prepared by Nathan L. Jacobson and Associates Incorporated, dated May 22nd, 2024, revision June 7th, 2024, revised July 10th, 2024, scale 1 inch equals 20 feet, R40 zoning district.
Okay. Bernie, that goes to you. If you really want to turn that a little bit, Bernie, because, this is a public hearing and they're going to want to take a look at that, I think.
Yeah, when Howard presents the plans, I'll have him
good
reposition it.
As long as you're aware.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. For the record, my name is Bernard Pellegrino. I'm an attorney with the Pellegrino Law Firm in New Haven, and I represent the applicant and owner of the properties at 5100 and 5110 Ridge Road, which is Quinnipiac University. This is our application for a special permit and site plan approval. I'm joined by Vice President Sal Filardi, Vice President Bethany Zemba, and other members of the administration who will present the application to you this evening, along with Howard Fromer, who's our project engineer from Nathan Jacobson and Associates, and Mike Tyre from Amenta Emma Associates, who's our project architect. The property is, as I mentioned, 5100 and 5110 Ridge Road. The size of the parcels combined is approximately 3 acres. It abuts other properties owned by the university as part of its 250-acre main campus. And as you note on the first page of the drawings, we've highlighted our site, plus all of the abutting properties that are owned by the university. It's located in your R40 zoning district, and the proposed educational use is permitted by special permit on this site. The proposal is to add an approximate 2,300 square foot addition to the existing 5,000 square foot two-story building, and some additional parking and infrastructure improvements to the site, to use the building as an executive education center. The Lifelong Learning Center program was founded by the university in 2022. As you will hear, it's off to a successful start. It's been looking for a home, true home, since its inception. And upon the recent acquisition of the property by the university, it was determined that this would be an appropriate location for this understated yet important program. With me this evening to describe the programmatic activities on the site, first is Holly Rader, the Dean of the Business School, so I'll let her go next. Holly?
Good evening. Please could you state your name and then spell your first name and your last name, so I can get it.
Good evening. My name is Holly Rader, HOLLYRAIDER. Chairman Carlson, members of the commission, and members of the community. On behalf of Quinnipiac University, I'm here tonight to express my enthusiastic support for the proposed education center, located at 5100 Ridge Road. This initiative represents a significant investment in our community's future. It offers numerous benefits that align with both local and state workforce development goals, and it's focused on accelerating the development of professional adult learners. The facilities at the proposed education center are thoughtfully designed around the needs of adult learners, and it will fuel the success of individuals and organizations. The center will include 2 50-person seminar rooms and breakout spaces for collaborative teamwork. The spaces in the center will be equipped with AV technology, comfortable seating, ample natural light, and designed to enhance the learning experience. The church location is particularly suitable for this extension of our adult learning programs, as it is conveniently located adjacent to Quinnipiac's Mount Carmel campus and 5 miles from our North Haven campus. This proposed center will serve a purpose in alignment with how the church was used in the past. It will provide a quiet gathering space for members of the local community to expand their educational growth. The proposed educational center is designed to address the evolving needs of higher education and the labor market. The center will serve lifelong learners and offers programs tailored to meet the evolving needs of a changing economy. This includes initiatives like the Tech Talent Accelerator and the Connecticut Health Horizons, which both address specific workforce shortages and promote economic competitiveness of our region and our state. The Tech Talent Accelerator leverages strategic partnerships between local technology companies and higher education institutions to support programs promoting long-term growth of technology-driven industries in the state. This will help us close tech talent gaps and foster economic competitiveness. Connecticut Health Horizons is designed to respond to a statewide shortage of nursing and social work professionals, providing tuition assistance and supporting faculty expansion and creating career-based partner programs with healthcare providers. This upskilling is crucial for the adult working population in Connecticut and here in New Haven County, as it fosters career growth, it enhances job security, and it keeps our workforce competitive in a rapidly evolving job market. Continuous learning helps individuals stay relevant and adaptable, and therefore reduces the risk of job displacement. Upskilling can lead to higher earning potential and job satisfaction by opening doors to new opportunities and roles. For employers, many of whom are small and mid-sized businesses, A skilled workforce drives innovation and productivity, contributing to the overall economic health of the state. Therefore, investing in upskilling initiatives is beneficial for employees, employers, and the broader community in Connecticut, including those gathered tonight. The proposed center is a vital bridge between higher education and economic development. By aligning educational offerings with the needs of local and global economies, we together can ensure that adult learners are equipped with the skills and the knowledge required to thrive in today's job market. This alignment not only boosts the employability of local residents, but it also fuels economic growth and innovation in the region, reinforcing North Haven's reputation as a leader in these areas. Support for the Education Center does come from various stakeholders, including Quinnipiac University leadership, local business leaders, and community members. In their letters, which will be shared tonight, senior leaders of Quinnipiac will highlight the importance of this center in supporting the university's mission and enhancing its role in our community. Business accelerators and leaders such as the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce and Hartford Healthcare will express strong support for the center, emphasizing the role this center will play in addressing workforce gaps and fostering economic development. Numerous residents and alumni of Quinnipiac University are in attendance tonight to share their support. Recognizing the center's potential to enhance the quality of life for North Haven residents and to contribute to the town's economic vitality. In conclusion, the proposed Education Center at Quinnipiac University represents a forward-thinking initiative that will provide substantial benefits to our community. I urge you, the North Haven Planning and Zoning Commission, to approve this project, recognizing its potential to drive economic growth, enhance educational opportunities, and strengthen community ties. I thank you for your time and your consideration.
Okay, Holly, thank you very much.
I was a little occupied. I just didn't catch your name.
Holly Rader.
Okay.
Thank you, Holly. Next, I'd like to ask Allison Witherspoon, the Director of Lifelong Learning at the University, to come up.
Hello, and thank you for having me here tonight. My name is Allison Witherspoon. That's ALISON WITHERSPOON. I'm here tonight as the Director of Lifelong Learning from Quinnipiac University to share my enthusiastic support for the proposed Education Center at Quinnipiac. I'd also like to share a few personal examples of how the center will impact working professionals in our community. Stacy Vendito, Jasper Red, Danielle Sidesman, Ryan Ort. These are just a few names of the many leaders we have had the opportunity to support in their journey as they learn and grow and excel in their careers and the ways in which they impact others. Our lifelong learning programs gave them tools, connections, and knowledge to positively impact their communities. Just last week, I had the opportunity to work with 30 of these dedicated professionals as they completed an advanced leadership program at Quinnipiac. Stacy is a regional operations manager of ambulatory services. Her work impacts communities and the citizens in this room every day. After completing an entry-level lifelong learning leadership program last year, Stacy and her supervisor created a succession plan to help her grow and continue to amplify her impact. She's returned to Quinnipiac to complete an advanced leadership program to help her continue to build her organization and improve the work she does. Through Stacy's hard work and intentional planning, she is leveraging lifelong learning programs to advance her career and deepen her commitment to her field and organization. Jasper is a patient access director. Similar to Stacy, he completed an entry-level leadership program with Quinnipiac Lifelong Learning and has now continued to grow as a professional. He's returned to Quinnipiac just this month to complete an advanced program and to continue to develop his career. Through Jasper's dedication to his patients and operational excellence, he takes the lessons gleaned from these programs and from those he meets in these programs and continues to impact others every day through his actions and through his career. Since its founding in 2022, lifelong learning programs at Quinnipiac have supported career advancement of over 600 professionals in fields such as healthcare, education, social work, customer service, finance, and more. Our learners are empowered to thrive in their professional pursuits, to positively impact their communities, like the community of North Haven. In fact, 95% of the professionals who complete our programs and those in partnership with Hartford Healthcare have indicated that they believe our programs significantly contribute to their future career success. Lives are changed through our programs, not just the lives of the learners who we work with directly, but also the lives of those they work with every day. Patients, students, children, and customers they serve day in and day out. Learners in our programs routinely express gratitude for the opportunity to connect in person with colleagues from across the state, to share strategies for tackling complex challenges, and to build their leadership network together. The Education Center at QU provides this dedicated space designed intentionally to foster professional connections, designed to facilitate personal reflection and to stimulate experiential learning. Abutting the Mount Carmel campus and situated on a beautiful wooded lot, the reimagined church location provides the perfect blend of a collegiate learning environment and professional retreat. This dedicated lifelong learning space will improve our ability to offer workforce development that caters to the evolving needs of workforce partners and the region. I encourage your support of this project and its positive impact on economic and individual professional growth. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today. I appreciate the chance to be here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Allison. Just a couple of things I wanted to add before I turn it over to Howard. On average, on a daily basis, 3 staff members would be working at the site, and on the average size of the programs, even though the room capacity is 50, is on average 35 attendees to one of their programs. Just some statistical data. As it states in the application, we are proposing that the center would be available for use from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday, with 90% of the events occurring Monday through Friday and falling between the hours of 5 and 8. Excuse me, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Sorry. With that, we have filed, as was mentioned, 2 applications, site plan and a special permit application. As Mr. Fromer and Mr. Tyree will show you, the plan meets the applicable regulatory bulk standards in the zone, and will also offer evidence that the proposal is eligible for and meets your special permit criteria. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Fromer to introduce you to the plan.
Very good.
My name is Howard Fromer.
How are you gonna yell?
Yeah, you gotta get it up a little higher. Speak a little louder, please, as well.
F as in Frank?
The other behind you.
To your right.
You need both.
To your right.
You need both.
No, not that one.
That's it.
Okay.
All right. Can you hear me now? Testing? Oh, yeah. Okay. Howard Fromer, Howard, P as in Peter, F as in Frank, ROMM as in Mary, ER. All right. I'm with Nathan Jacobson Associates. We're Quinnipiac's civil engineer on this project.
That's it. That's good.
Maybe a little more, Bert.
Well, we don't
We
see
need
much
this
here.
here, too.
Yeah, that's it. If you could step back just a little bit, you're good. You're good.
Howard, take that. Take that mic.
Take that mic with me. Okay. All right. As Bernie pointed out,
Okay. Go over there.
the project is located on the west side of Ridge Road, several hundred feet south of Mount Carmel Avenue. All right. He pointed to the site location plan, project location plan on the right and top left side of your drawing set. You should be looking at the drawing set, by the way, that's last dated August 16. I want to make sure you have that set. You can see in the top left corner, you can see that the property is contiguous with the rest of the main campus. I'll just go through a few of the site plan sheets to orient you. Okay, this is the existing condition plan sheet. Ridge Road is on the right-hand side, north is up. The parcel is on the left side of Ridge Road. It's a 0.96 acre parcel. There's a 50-foot setback in the front, 25-foot setbacks on the side and rear. The existing building complies with it. The proposed addition complies with it, as you'll see on subsequent sheets. As Bernie noted, it's in an R40 zone. It is located almost entirely in the Regional Water Authority's Aquifer Protection Zone, as is the rest of the entire Mount Carmel campus. The existing building is served by underground power and communications and a domestic line. There is an on-site septic system, septic tank. The stormwater is discharged to a catch basin, stormwater from the building and the building surround and from the parking lot is discharged to the unprotected slope at the back side of the existing parking lot, which is large enough for about 22 stalls. Paved parking lot. This is the demolition plan, which I won't go through unless you want me to. This is the site plan. There's a bulk table in the bottom right corner. Just to give you a quick description, so there's an existing semicircular drive at the top of the site. We're going to maintain that, same width, same length. The use would be in a clockwise pattern, so you'd enter on the south and you'd exit to the north. The existing parking lot would be removed and expanded a bit to the north, and there would be a parking lot to the west of the building. Total number of stalls proposed is 92, including 4 handicap stalls. There's also a proposed sidewalk along the west side of Ridge Road, which I believe will be looking for a waiver from this commission on. The addition you can see off to the northwest or northeast corner of the existing building, some sidewalk, patio, set of site stairs. On the south side of the project, there is a retaining wall because the southern end of the proposed parking lot is in a cut. So a retaining wall about 6 to 7 foot clear height is proposed so that we don't disturb any of the vegetation to the south of it to help protect views from the neighbors. On the grading and civil utility plan, the building will be provided with underground domestic and fire service. There is no gas service existing or proposed, same underground power and communications. There is a brand new septic system that complies with the state public health code. We received an approval from QVHD on. Permit presumably would be issued when a contractor seeks to build the system. It includes a septic tank and grease trap. Stormwater is at the existing site. Water from the south is conveyed sort of clockwise around the site to the wetlands off to the west, and we are maintaining that. But stormwater that falls on the parking lot, on the building, will flow to catch basins that direct it to a hydrodynamic separator, to an underground detention system. That's not infiltration, that is detention. That will go to a bio detention system, bio-retention system, and to a level spreader where it will discharge onto Quinnipiac property to the wetlands on Quinnipiac's property. This is the proposed planting plan. There are a significant number of plants off to the west and north of the site, obviously around the building as well. And that retaining wall I mentioned, there's a number of pine trees to help screen views. There are 20 proposed site lights around the parking lot. They are 16 feet tall. They have 25-watt full cutoff LEDs. And there's a photometric plan included in your set. They probably stop here. This is the erosion and sediment control plan, which I presume is not something that's terribly of interest to you. As you know, we do have North Haven wetlands approval. We did get a positive referral letter also from the Regional Water Authority.
Sure.
Okay. Are there any questions that I can entertain at this time?
Is that your?
I'm good.
Good. Okay. Get to the commission first. The commission, anyone?
Yeah, I do have a question, maybe for both Bernie and Mr. Fromer here.
You want to start here?
If you're going to have 35 people at any given time, why do you need 92 parking spaces?
There's two kind of meeting rooms, so there could be the occasion where both has meeting of, on average, 35 folks in each of the program rooms. So we proposed enough parking spaces that we could have capacity for 2 meetings at once. We don't want to have the situation where there's a need, not enough parking on site. So we were conservative, I guess, in providing sufficient spaces to allow for the opportunity where there's 2 meetings happening at the same time.
Thank you.
So there's approximately 20 extra spaces given, you're talking about maybe 73 people there?
There are some, again, extra spaces just to be safe. We don't want people overflowing and having people have to.
I'm just wondering about that west side where there's such a cut happening. It's really necessary to have an extra 20.
We can look at the parking and see what we can do there.
Are you good there?
I have one other comment
Yeah,
on
go
the,
ahead.
on the
No, go
planting
ahead.
plan. I saw Liriope in there. I would appreciate it if that could be substituted for something native or at least something non-invasive. That would be good.
Which one was I in here?
Liriope. It's the ground cover, it's the grass.
Take a look at that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else for him?
I have a question.
No, yeah, right, yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead, guys.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Do you happen to have a calculation for the percentage of impervious surfaces that are proposed here for the whole lot?
It's about a third of the lot is proposed to be impervious. It's about a 3-acre lot, and we've got 1 acre of impervious proposed. In the existing case, we have about a third of acre impervious. The existing is a third of an acre, proposed is about an acre.
Thanks.
Okay. You got it, Bob?
For now, yeah. Yeah, nothing in this presentation.
nothing here? Huh?
No, my only question was about the parking.
Okay, good enough. Bernie, let me just catch up, because I wasn't sure how I got the hours. At 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., did you correct yourself on that?
Sorry. We're proposing in the application 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday.
Okay, Monday through Sunday, okay.
That's 7.
With 90% of the events occurring on Monday through Friday and falling between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. So we would be willing to accept that as a condition.
Thing that Calvin talking about.
Just wanted to talk.
Can everybody stop talking in the background, please, so Bernie can speak?
Just to mention traffic, we have submitted a traffic report. Mr. Barbaras is out of state this evening, so he's unable to be here to present it, but assuming the meeting is continued in November, he would be here to answer any questions you have about parking. I know that there's been a parking report submitted by some of the neighbors, and he'll also be prepared to address that at your November meeting. Just to summarize his report, we're proposing a modest increase in traffic. However, there are no changes to the operational levels of service upon the existing traffic operations and intersections. So no change in the levels of service at the local intersections. Based on the data he has reviewed, there's adequate sight lines at the site drive in both directions. He did an investigation of crashes in the area over the past 4 years. There's been no reported accidents on Ridge Road between Blue Hills and Mount Carmel Avenue in the last 4 years. There's been only 6 recorded crashes at the Ridge and Mount Carmel intersection. He is proposing the installation of 2 stop signs on Mount Carmel to make it a 3-way stop at that intersection. And his opinion is that existing conditions today justify the 3-way stop based on the sight lines you have if you're at that intersection on Ridge Road looking in either direction on Mount Carmel Avenue. That the sight lines today justify making that a 3-way stop. So that's just an overview of his report. And he'll be here next month to answer any questions you might have about the report.
Bernie, I don't mean to interrupt you, but, in his report, on the three-way stop sign on Mount Carmel, and, it is, I was certainly there many times, but the fact of the matter is, a stop sign going westbound on Mount Carmel Avenue, I don't think there's enough. You would have to have blinking light to prepare you to stop for a stop sign with a short stopping distance to that stop sign there, going westbound. Eastbound, certainly that's another story, and coming out of Ridge Road is another story, but I do not believe that'll work at all.
Mr. Chairman, what you're saying is that the stop would have a car here and there would not be enough space to sit.
There's also a curve there.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
There's a curve that goes, if you look at the police chief's comments on it, he was very concerned with putting 3 stop signs there. He said it would.
Yeah, well,
we did see the chief's comments and the plan when Mr. Barbaras returns to Connecticut. He's moving up from Florida in the middle of a hurricane. But when he gets here, we're going to have him meet with the police chief and discuss that issue. So we'll have an update for you on that hopefully next month as well.
Yeah, well, I certainly don't feel comfortable with that at all. In fact, I think the whole site is overly done, to say the least. I think you're packing in 10 pounds of hamburger into a 5-pound box, I should say. I think it's just too much parking, too much encroaching on the neighbors. I just don't think that the whole situation right there for this type of drawing that you're showing me now, that I could live with at all. So I don't know what else you could possibly do, but this, I don't know.
We'll certainly look at that.
With all of it, Bernie, in all respect, you know, as far as putting up, you know, a wall, a fence, instead of, you're gonna put up a retaining wall in there, God knows how, it must be 11 feet high, for God's sakes. I mean, I really don't know, but I would certainly want to know what you're doing there.
I don't think it's 11.
I'm talking about to the, it would be to the southwest, I believe, of the church itself, and the parking lot on that side. You know, there's gonna be a cut in there,
Yes.
substantial.
I think Mr. Fromer said 6 to 7 feet on that retaining wall.
Well, he did mention that, but it didn't sound right to me.
Yeah, if you look at the grades on the grading plan, the retaining wall exposed is 6 feet high. Exposed from existing grade in the front to existing grade in the back.
Can you just point to where that is, Howard?
So right along the south side, okay, of the proposed parking lot. There's nothing to the west, nothing to the east. It's just right along the south side. If you follow the grades, we have elevations on top of the proposed wall. We have contours at the base of the bottom of the wall. 6 feet high, maximum.
And how high would that, how much of the cut would be there?
So about 6 feet.
6 feet, a
6 feet.
6-foot cut.
So behind the wall, the existing grade is maintained. In the front of the, what I'm calling the front of the wall, the north side of the wall,
Right.
the grade is cut down 6 feet. The back of the wall is maintained.
Okay. So how would you address the top of the wall? If you're gonna put a 6-foot cut in there.
Right.
And put a wall, how would you maintain the top of that wall?
We were going to put trees along the back side of the wall for screening. That's shown on the,
Well, you're going right against the house to the southwest side there.
No.
No?
No,
The grade from the house is going to remain the same, and then it's going to hit the retaining wall, where then the grade is going to drop, and the parking lot's going to be built.
Right.
And the trees would be on top of the wall.
Just behind it.
Okay. Well, I'll take a much closer look at that.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Because it's just not registering that way to me right now. But
That was
thank
an
you very
issue when
much.
we, that issue was raised when we were on a site walk with the Hampton Wetlands Commission.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the neighbors pointed out that would we lose existing vegetation if the wall was not, if the first plan was followed? Because initially we didn't show a wall there, but we showed excavation to bring the slope down, which would have eliminated some of the existing vegetation and screening between our site and the neighboring site.
Correct.
So after that site visit, we revised the plan, this is a few months back, and we eliminated grading closer to the south to that neighbor and using the wall to maintain the existing grade and vegetation in that area. Right?
How many spaces are in that section of the lot?
In the back section?
You're going to have to define for me what you're calling a section. Not trying to be smart about it, but I'll just point out what's
Where
in
you
each
have
row.
to, where you have to cut in order to put the parking.
How many go head in against the retaining wall?
So there's 8 right here that point against the retaining wall. The little numbers and circles on the site plan show the number of stalls in each row.
I can't see that.
No, I know you can't see it there, but
Okay.
on your plan, just explaining what those numbers are.
Excuse me one second, I just want you have that rod here, there you go. This is the cut here?
Right
Is this
here.
the deepest cut?
Yeah, you want to look at the grading plan, look at C 4.00.
Yeah, can we have that on the other side then? All right, I'll look at it later. I don't see it at all.
Well, it's the next sheet. This is 3.
Put it over. Okay, so where's your grade? So what is the cut on this end?
It's gonna be
That end?
right,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
along this whole way.
Because this is the low side here, isn't it? Am I looking to see, where's the church at?
He's got 183. He's got 183 coming into the
Okay,
wall
all right, so, all right.
and 176.
Yeah. Well, what about if the parking lot going, well, it doesn't show here, but we have, this is the parking lot. Yeah.
It'd probably be better to have this be audible or done in the interim between the next meeting.
It cuts here.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Here, we got, Mark, exactly. This is about, not sure, I'll have to look at it, I think it's about 20 feet from the house. There's a house.
Is it on the survey?
I think it is. But in
Cody, I think in
No.
fairness, he's indicating that he thinks that the retaining wall is about 20 feet from the
Would it be that
neighboring
close?
house.
It looks pretty close to the property line from the house next door. To me, it looks like about maybe 20 feet, maybe 25 feet, I suppose, but.
I think it's further.
Yeah, it's further than that. Here, let me measure for you.
Mr. Chairman, maybe I can ask a question, Mr. Fulmer, while he's up.
I'll give you a chance.
So the proposed wall is 70 feet from the property line.
70 feet?
70.
Property lines over here.
This proposed wall
Yeah.
to this property line on the south.
How about the house?
I'll take a look.
From what?
The wall to the house.
From the wall to the house to the south?
Yeah. We have that on that.
Or to the property line.
The property lines.
The property line would be good.
70
He-
feet to the property.
He said 70 feet from the retaining wall to the property line.
Well, okay.
Don't,
No, that can't
That
be
can't,
right.
that's
can't be
20
right.
scale?
Well, I just don't see it,
Yeah.
but I don't question you. I just gonna look at it a little bit closer.
I can draw a site section
It
next
isn't
time if
necessary
you'd like.
right now.
We'll bring a site section for you
Yeah.
to scale.
Yeah.
That'll show
Yeah.
wall, property line, and the neighboring house.
Perfect, perfect. I should be able to get it off of this. Yeah, I
you
will.
should be.
I mean, I looked at the site, and it just looked much closer than that to me. So, that's all I'm doing, just bring it to your attention.
No, that's like 30.
Can we ask one question, Mr. Fulmer, while he's still up? Is that a-
1 second, John, we'll get you right in there. Okay, Rod, Ken?
My first question is, without this facility, what type of lifelong learning is going to be prevented, without this North Haven facility? What's Mrs. Weatherspoon was, going through that? Is there going to be a inability of Quinnipiac to provide lifelong learning without this facility?
Well, the ability to provide it has been challenging because it really doesn't have a home on the campus. So finding the space, and she can come up and correct me if I'm wrong, finding space is kind of catch as catch can. So it moves in.
Is this an existing program right now?
It's an existing program.
Okay, so,
for
and
the
how
past
long
2
has
years.
it been?
2 years.
2 years, okay.
So, Allison, if you could come up. Because I think it's a good question. Could you tell the board approximately how many sessions or events you had last calendar year?
Sure, I didn't bring my notes up, but last calendar year, we had, I think it was about 22 events. I want to also address just a comment about the question about how will this prevent us from doing our lifelong learning programs if this didn't move forward. Currently, we are challenged to be able to offer lifelong learning programs to working professionals, given the fact that Quinnipiac's primary space is dedicated to traditional undergraduate and graduate students. So this property enabling us to offer lifelong learning programs dedicated for working professionals to meeting that workforce need with those specific educational programs provides an opportunity that we do not currently have on the Quinnipiac campuses.
Allison, just a question. You said you had 22 events last year. How long is an event?
Sure. Most of our events, they range from a few hours to 1 day. The standard program that we offer is about 6 hours during the day, usually ranging from about 8:30 to about 4 p.m.
So an event is not a week long?
No.
Okay, thank you.
You all set for the moment, Brian? Good, yeah, okay. Go ahead, Ken, you want to finish up?
That answered my question.
Just a general question, I guess. This feels like a very intense use for this neighborhood. The parking lot looks really big, and I'm just wondering, I mean, I know that the university is very close, but when you're driving down Ridge Road, it still feels like you're in this R40 neighborhood. And is there any openness to scaling this back?
Well, we're open to working with you on that, and I think we could look at that. I think the use itself is really not intense. It's pretty low-key use. It's seminar.
Hold on, folks. Folks.
I
Please,
promise
let
I
him-
wouldn't laugh or heckle any of you. So if you would do the same to me, I'd appreciate it.
Bernie, you left.
Okay? So we believe it's a low-intensity use. But I see your point that when you look at the site plan, we are changing the existing conditions in a way that perhaps we can look to scale that back a little so that it is more in keeping with what you all may think is kind of works within the neighborhood. We definitely are able to take a look at that. And we will between now and our next meeting together.
Is it possible to meet with the police chief between the
Yeah,
two
absolutely.
meetings?
I think Jim is back in hopefully in a week to 10 days, and so we'll have enough time to meet with the chief and talk about what we can do to get him to be more comfortable.
Okay.
What changes we would make to try to do that. So I'm going to turn it over to Michael in a moment. Well, I'm going to turn it over to him right now. If we're done with Howard, I don't know if there was a question that somebody wanted to raise.
One second, Bertie, I just want, you boys have, you're good to go?
Good to
All
go.
set.
I'm good at the moment.
He'll be back.
Good enough, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sure he will be. I just want to get it out now, if it's possible. 1 second.
How many cubic yards of earth are you going to disturb on
Excuse
that
me,
site?
sir, if you're going to
Yep.
speak, you have to say your
John,
name.
yeah, up to the mic, please. State your name.
Gotta go over there. Gotta go over there, John.
John.
John Acambora, 5036 Ridge Road, North Haven, Connecticut. How many cubic yards of earth will you disturb on that site to cut and fill and do the rest?
2,000 cubic yards of fill is needed, 800 cubic yards of cut. So we'll have a 1,200 cubic yard deficit. We need to bring material onto the site. Depending on the size of the trucks and the number of truck trips, you could decide however many days that'll take. I gave an example in the drawings of what I thought they would use and figured it would take about 13 days to move that earth. And again, I'm not dictating the number of trucks to the contractor. I'm just trying to give an example so people can have a rough feel of the time it would take to move that kind of earth, but I'll explain that later. So I've got 16 cubic yard trucks at 8 truck trips.
16 yards?
16 cubic yard trucks at 6 truck trips per day. 13 days.
So that's 600 cubic, like 90 some odd trucks. Correct? Just to give you, can you go back to the
Well, John, you said you had
Or-
one question. I
or
gave you one question.
Wait, give me two?
I gave you two. How many
Go back
trucks?
to the parking thing just for a minute.
Yeah, John, you gotta get up.
Mr. Chair, we gave John his one question.
Are we in public comment or
Wait,
not?
We're not, we're not.
If you have any questions,
Please, we're
John,
gonna do
feel
this
free
again,
to
a little
call.
bit different. Let's finish up with the commission and see if we can get this thing going in the right direction.
You good with Howard?
You guys good?
I
We're all
am,
good.
yes.
We're all good, yeah.
Mike Tyree from Amenta Emma is our project architect.
Hi, good evening. My name is Michael Tyre. I am a principal at Amenta Emma Architects. Tyre. Thanks. Members of the commission, members of the community, thanks for having us here tonight. I want to walk through and provide an overview of the proposed architectural components of the project. We'll start with talking through the floor plans, looking at the uses, spaces inside, and then we'll talk a little bit about the proposed elevations. So, as has been discussed, the project is working within the confines of the existing church with an approximate 2,300 square foot addition at that northeastern corner of the building. We're now looking at the lower level of the building, so as you're coming in from Ridge Road, you're entering up on the upper level, and effectively the same types of programs, uses, are being proposed on both levels. There is a large seminar room that you see here in the middle of the space, and again, that's set up for flexible learning, different seating configurations, set up for adult learning, and other lifelong learning programs. To support that, there are a series of breakout spaces. These are networking areas, areas where groups that are meeting in here can congregate outside of the main classroom. You also have a prep kitchen that is on the western side of the space. This will be used for heating and plating food that's been prepared elsewhere. This is not a full kitchen, it's a prep kitchen. And then as we move over onto the eastern side of the building, the restrooms that are being proposed are renovated restrooms to provide accessible and then low-flow fixtures to conserve water. Additionally, on this lower level, there are some miscellaneous storage spaces and office space for some of the staff that will occupy the building when it's in use. Additional support spaces on this all operate within the confines of the existing church. Those include electrical rooms, mechanical rooms, etc. As we move to the main level, what's effectively the upper level of this structure, starting at the entry, the existing porch that's on the front will be enclosed to create a vestibule area. And much like the lower level, the main space is really defined by this large seminar room. Again, could seat up to 50 with various flexible tables, no fixed seating. And then networking breakout space that's immediately to that. That's for gatherings before, after. On this level, there will also be a series of flexible spaces, again, that support breakout, extension of learning, small group learning, and those are located here towards the southern side, and then a series of them that are up here on the northeastern corner, of the addition area. There is an existing stair in the building that will be preserved. There is a new elevator that's being proposed, and again, you have a bank of accessible restrooms that are on this level. So very similar uses stacked on one another from the upper and lower levels. If there's not any questions about the plan configuration, I'll move on to the elevations and talk a little bit about the proposed exterior.
I'd be interested in the elevations. Anything you want to say on the plan? Or?
No, I understand the plan.
Okay, please do.
So we have a couple of the main elevations of the building on this sheet. This is the eastern elevation, which is effectively the front of the building. And we've proposed the addition to be lower, smaller in height and stature than the existing church structure. So mindful of trying to create a modest feel to the addition while being able to provide ample daylight into the building and help reposition the overall impression of the building's use. So here at the main entry, where the current porch is, we're enclosing that to provide a glass enclosed vestibule in that area. Some modest stainless brushed aluminum signage across the front that is it's approximately 8 inches tall. In this section here will be the portion of the addition that's on this upper level before the site descends. Now as we go to the northern side of the building, that's here, this is the face that faces the parking lot area. You're seeing the addition in this area and then the existing church structure over on this side. Again, larger windows on the north side to bring in diffused daylight. Those really are adjacent to those breakout spaces, support areas. We're trying to bring as much natural daylight into this structure as we can. And then some modest punch windows in the office areas here and in the breakout area below. The proposed materials for the building, the existing brick of the church would remain. The roof would remain. Much of the trim that is on the existing building would remain as is in its current architectural character. It's proposed to be painted. There's some painting that needs to be done. The whites would be moved to a brownish, grayish brown color that would match the metals that are used on the building. So the primary exterior materials would be metal of 2 different varieties, 2 slightly different tones. And then as we look towards the remaining other elevations, these would be to the south side of the building that you see here. There's really no proposed alterations or work on this section of the building. There is some miscellaneous painting to fascias, areas around the windows that are currently white. You're seeing the addition in the distance beyond on this side, so the projection again out from the face of the building is equal to what the porch is now on the front. And then this is the western side of the building. So in the back parking lot area that was being discussed before, this would be your elevation. Again, you're seeing this some distance away. But from a height standpoint, we're keeping the overall height of the addition as such, so it's not to exceed that of the existing church. And again, we have some modest windows on this side, but this is primarily just the metals and opaque on that side that's facing east. Same materiality with the addition, and again, preservation of the existing brick, preservation of the existing roof of the church.
Okay.
So happy to take any questions on the architectural part. So the steeple that had been was probably easiest is on the front, but the base of the steeple would remain, but the steeple that was up here would be taken down and capped in this proposal.
Okay.
Is there a need for metal on the exterior, with the residential area? Brushed aluminum sign seems overly, I myself wouldn't choose to have a aluminum sign in a residential area, so, is there other architectural options you could use besides that?
I'll speak to the metal and its color. The only real aluminum proposed that is in that color tone, right, that generally looks like metal, would be potentially signage across the front. The general metals are of a dark brown and a slightly lighter brown tone to them. So we're trying to work with tones that aren't, overly contemporary, overly slick, while providing a metal that's going to be durable and economical for the project. But I think, there are certainly some abilities to explore other materials.
great, I'd love to, if you guys do think of those, here, include that, it impacts all of the residents and, those, exploring all of our options.
Maybe a rendering would help that, to see what it looks like as far as.
Yeah,
the
no
contrast
proposed
goes.
glossy finishes on the metal or anything. Again, we're not trying to be mindful, not create a really super contemporary, super modern feel to the metal.
Anything else, Ken?
Nope.
You good for that?
Okay. All right, thank you.
Right?
Here?
No.
Yeah, let's see. He's got a sample.
Mark, you better jump in if you want.
Okay.
He's good?
Okay,
He's gonna bring a sample.
He's gonna bring up a sample of that
good,
material.
by all means.
Which he brought.
Well, we can. Is that your presentation now, Bernie?
I'm
You
just
go with
gonna
it, or-
touch on the plan of conservation and development, then we're done.
Okay. He'll,
These are the proposed metal colors.
Thank you. That's great.
okay.
Thank you.
You guys want to see that? No,
I'm good. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bernie, want to finish up?
Yeah, I just wanted to end on the plan of conservation and development, which I know is relevant when you look at your special permit. We believe, obviously, the proposal is in compliance with the plan of conservation and development. And I think, the plan as it applies to, what happens in front of this commission, obviously, the most important chapter in the plan is chapter number 2, which talks about land use and zoning. And obviously, in chapter 2, the current use of this property is identified as institutional. And it has been, obviously, a church institutional use for many, many years, and has laid vacant for a number of years. The POCD identifies the future use of the building as institutional. So in your plan of conservation and development, in the land use section, you have identified this site for institutional use, and therefore our proposed institutional educational use is in compliance with chapter 2 of the proposed uses for this property now and in the future. The POCD also talks to the promotion of the town's residential workforce as a demographic and economic development. That's at page 24. By the way, just in case you're going to go look, the current use is identified at pages 14 and 15 of the POCD. The future land use map is located at page 69. And on page 24, you'll see the section that talks about the residential workforce as important to the economic and demographic benefits of the town. It also mentions in that same section that the university is now one of the largest employers in our town. And as you've heard from our speakers so far, this program is important to and is designed to for the programmatic benefits of lifelong learning, which will seek to improve our residential workforce, not only here in town, but in the greater region of New Haven County. And the benefits to us in town would be significant by doing that. So we think the program that we're offering and the location, which is identified as an institutional use, is in compliance with those sections of our plan of conservation and development. So I have some letters that I'll submit from others at the university, and I'll give you those before we're done this evening. But short of that, for tonight, that was the, I know we have some speakers here who will also speak in the public portion, but as far as our presentation in chief, that's all we had. We'd like to request that you keep the public hearing open so we can look at some of the items that have been raised, so that we can bring Mr. Babaris to talk about traffic, so we could talk to the chief. So we would make that request, that you keep it open till your November meeting. And with that, unless you have any more questions for us, we're happy to open it up.
Well, I still want you to take notes on this because, Bernie, because I'm gonna open this to the public. You know, it's a public hearing here, so.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know, I would like you to take some notes on it. If you wanna respond to it, by all means do. If you don't, that's up to you.
I think we'll probably wait and respond in total.
Well, that's okay.
Next month with comments that we hear tonight, comments that we've heard from you.
Sure.
But I got my pen ready to take the notes.
Okay, good enough. Okay, we're gonna open this up to the public now. Now, I would like to speak to anyone who is in favor of this application. The ones that are in favor, by all means, put your hand up and step up forward. The first.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Can we just somewhat clarify a couple of things here? So clearly, they've requested that we keep the public hearing open, and you've challenged them somewhat to modifying portions of their design and coming
Yes.
back.
Yes,
So
pretty clear.
there will be ample opportunity at the next public hearing. The next public hearing is scheduled for November 12th. They meet once a month. And the next public hearing will be in the gym at the Park and Rec Center, where there will be hundreds of seats, okay? So, my apologies for the accommodations here.
Well,
We do
I
like
must
it to
admit,
be very tight and
wait a second.
homey here. We like that, but,
I must admit that I did insist that we keep it here tonight. I did not expect quite this many people. So,
And I'd like to
please
just
accept my
add that
apologies for it being overly tight here for a bit, but it's only for a couple hours, so.
And if there are changes to the plans, Mr. Pellegrino and the team from Quinnipiac will be here to present whatever modifications they may make to this. And if there's any recapping, if there's someone who went away because they did not like being in here with the crowds, et cetera, that's fine. And if there's any recap that they would like, we will ask Mr. Pellegrino or whatever design professional was here to recap those things. So there will be ample opportunity on November 12th.
There certainly will be. But anyone who would like to speak here tonight, by all means, step forward.
In favor, you're saying?
This is in favor. Sir, I might remind you have 3 minutes.
I don't have any detailed PowerPoint slides, I
Okay.
promise. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Galini. I'm lucky enough to be the new dean here at Quinnipiac University School of Law. I'm joined to my left by Professor Brennan Holt, the director of our mediation clinic. And I should say that both of us are North Haven residents. And as a resident of North Haven, I can appreciate the collective concerns about the renovations here on 5100 Ridge Road. It's actually those concerns in mind that I was reflecting a bit on my role as dean. I think of our law school as promoting the mantra law as a healing profession, where we teach students to be counselors in the best sense of the word, who help solve problems and enhance communication. And students commonly engage in this work outside of the law school, for example, in our clinics. For instance, on mediation, veterans, civil justice, tax, and others, not just to gain experience, but also to engender a sense of civil commitment. This core value of serving and helping others also applies to how the law school faces outwardly. Take, for example, our Center on Dispute Resolution. The center has speakers, programs, and trainings hosted at the law school. And trainings are on problem-solving skills like mediation, negotiation, special aspects of divorce mediation, and deliberative dialogue moderator training. It's energizing to think about how we might bring those trainings right here to 5100 Ridge Road, and in doing so, to think about how we could deliver those trainings to the citizens of North Haven. We live in a time when too many conversations are heated, people feel unheard. Many folks here tonight might feel that way. But if we could think together about how best to leverage a shared vision of 5100 Ridge Road, we could think about bringing things like the center's moderator training right here to our neighborhood. In that training, for instance, the center trains people on how to moderate and lead productive conversations around policing, community safety, immigration, climate change, and elections, all of which impact our North Haven community and therefore everyone in this room. As dean, it's my goal for our students to go out and make the world a better place, and I hope that the Ridge Road facility can be part of that goal, while at the same time giving us a chance to strengthen our North Haven community. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Miss? Yep. Oh, there's okay.
My name is Stephanie Magnuson. I live at 7 Manor Drive in North Haven.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your
Stephanie
name.
Magnuson, Magnuson. I live at 7 Manor Drive in North Haven. I'm also a graduate of Quinnipiac University, a class of 2000, and also a class of 2004. This past June, I started my 25th year working full-time at Quinnipiac University in their IT department, as well as a professor in the School of Business. Because of the university, I was able to foster my career and buy a home in North Haven and raise my family here. I have lived here for 15 years. My son will be applying to the university and hopefully starting his education in the fall. I fully support this project for many reasons. Mostly, I think it will grow our relationship with the university, who has supported the town on many occasions. More importantly, centers like these are vital for the growth and development of our community. I want to emphasize the importance of supporting this project, which serves as an opportunity for many individuals seeking to improve their lives through education. Excuse me. Adult education plays a crucial role in empowering individuals by providing them with the skills and knowledge necessary to thrive in today's fast-paced world. Many adults face barriers that prevent them from pursuing traditional education paths, such as work commitments, family responsibilities, or financial constraints. Adult learning centers address these challenges by offering flexible programs tailored to meet the unique needs of adult learners. Encouraging lifelong learners helps create adaptable individuals that can navigate changes in the job market and society effectively. Moreover, educated communities tend to experience lower crime rates and improved public health outcomes. By investing in the education for adults, we are fostering safer neighborhoods and healthier lifestyles for everyone. In conclusion, I urge each one of you to support this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, good evening. My name is Heather Gatchick. I'm the Director of Health Services for Campus Care with Hartford Healthcare. I wanted to express my support for the proposal for the Education Center at Quinnipiac. I've been working at Hartford Healthcare for 8 years and have operated as the Director of Health Services in Campus Care at Hartford Healthcare for 2 of those. I'm also a 2023 graduate of Quinnipiac University, its professional MBA program. In this position, I am responsible for the operations of Campus Care Student Health Services, coordination of timely access to care, and the collaboration between academic leadership and the Campus Care team. I am an employee of Hartford Healthcare who has benefited from the HHC-QU partnership and am the type of student that would be participating in this facility. As you know, Hartford Healthcare and Quinnipiac have established a partnership to help healthcare workers to expand their career objectives and receive training directly related to their job tasks. I participated in 2 development programs. The first was Working Through Others Leadership Development Program, which allowed me to gain tools to advance my work and my professional goals. My areas of focus for the training included team dynamics, belonging, finding purpose, conflict management, feedback, performance management, talent multiplication, influencing for impact, leading through change, mobilizing teams, problem solving, and leveraging productivity. The second was the optimization and improving the system leadership development course, which focused on strengthening my ability to navigate and leverage organizational resources and the Hartford healthcare system. It emphasizes expanding networks, creating action plans for personal and team growth, and developing a strategic view of the system. I've integrated both of these programs into my professional journey and have also done the same for my managers that I lead. I have taken the Working Through Others program to align our discussions, broaden their toolboxes, and improve communication within our team. I have seen a direct link between this course, team dynamics, and change management. I have seen the most change in myself after taking the Optimization and Improving Systems program. It has provided me with tools to help navigate the dynamics of my relationships.
You're almost there?
Yes, I have like 2 sentences left.
Okay.
Thank you. With external and internal stakeholders, and help me establish connections with colleagues that were not part of my network. So I'm grateful to have this opportunity in professional growth and development, and I strongly encourage the commission to approve the application. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wait, could you tell us your address before you go?
Yes, it's GATCHEK.
And what about your address?
I do not live in New Haven. I work at Quinnipiac University and am part of Hartford Healthcare Medical Group. I am the Director of Student Health Services.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Eric Smullen, E-R-I-C, Smullen, S-M-U-L-L-E-N. I'm the Senior Vice President for Hartford Healthcare. I'm very pleased to be here to testify on behalf and in support of the Educational Center at Quinnipiac University. I have a letter that I will submit that I'd like to read and clarify that my support comes from the obvious results that the team members that we have and colleagues that and one of them just sat before you, Heather Gatchick. We decided at Hartford Healthcare to choose to invest in our workforce, and we decided to do that to invest in the best of Allison Witherspoon and Hallie Radar, who actually used this lifelong learning, designed a specific curriculum that accelerates exactly what we needed for our colleagues' advancement across the state of Connecticut. This benefit will not only benefit our colleagues across the state, but others as they are able to scale. I'd just like to speak about the conflicts that happen at Quinnipiac University that was designed for undergraduates and graduates, to get rooms available, to have all of our learners intersecting with kids at the change of classes. It is not ideal for executive learners, and so we are in support of these new ideas to be able to scale their program so that they can meet the needs of this community as well as the rest of Connecticut. Hartford Healthcare and Quinnipiac University have established a distinctive partnership, a strategic partnership, to develop the workforce of Connecticut, particularly in the health sciences, nursing, and physicians' health professions. There are 3 areas that we focused. One is transforming healthcare education, delivering high-quality coordinated health and wellness services, and investing in our communities, fostering growth and development of our state's workforce. The Education Center at QU would be the purposeful home designed for this reason, and this will promote experiential learning for our adult students. Together, HHC and QU have developed a variety of programs. We have more to come. Right now we have 2 levels of learners in our directors and our managers. And I know that as they have the ability to scale, other employers across the state will see the content and curriculum that we have piloted, and they will be really welcoming this kind of education for their workforce. Finally, I am proud to offer responsive healthcare system. I am proud to represent a responsible healthcare system with talented employees that is made possible by this program. Additional program is crucial to address the talent shortages across this state, and making sure that we can be an accelerator to the workforce pipeline across Connecticut. Thank you very much for
Thank you very much, sir. Well spoken.
Can we get your address?
Yes, my address is 209 Lexington Court, Cheshire, Connecticut. That's a letter to be submitted.
Next. Bernie, how many more do you have to speak on this?
I'm not sure.
Well, you know, I don't think anybody on the commission here is disputing the good that this does, but we're talking about, is this site acceptable for this particular? That's what we're talking about. You know, all of this is very nice, and it's well heard, but is it acceptable for this? This is where we want to get to. But okay, go ahead, sir. I want to finish up with what you have, you feel is necessary, and move on. Thank you. Go ahead.
Good
I'm
evening.
sorry.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, Mr. Chairman and the rest of the commission. My name is Ben Amarone. My address is 9 Sony Drive in North Haven. Last name again is Amarone, A-M-A-R-O-N-E. As a North Haven resident, I'm writing in support of the Quinnipiac University New Education Center, located at 5100 Ridge Road in North Haven. This endeavor will add to and strengthen the relationship and the long-standing relationship that Quinnipiac and the town of North Haven currently have, because it allows individuals and utilizes and benefits for the initiative for the local professionals that we have, not only in the town of North Haven, but across the state, as many have already mentioned. And it really does give them opportunity for career development and other career opportunities. Personally, I've earned a master's degree from Quinnipiac University and found my experience to be immensely rewarding and fulfilling. It's because of that experience that I attend many of the Quinnipiac sporting events, lectures, and other professional development opportunities that keep me engaged with the university, not only as an employee, but as a member of the community. Quinnipiac is known to develop and maintain beautiful and aesthetically pleasing properties, which will add value to the North Haven community. And this education center is an investment in the town of North Haven and provides our residents career development opportunities and continues to improve our workforce. I respectfully ask that you approve the initiative, and I thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Very well spoken.
Good evening. My name is Matt Broderick. I currently serve as a business development specialist in Quinnipiac's Department of Lifelong Learning. Matt, by the way, Broderick, B-R-O-D-E-R-I-C-K. And I'm just here tonight to share my support for developing a new adult-focused education center in Quinnipiac. As a mission-driven individual with a professional history of nonprofit and community service, I was drawn to my current role at Quinnipiac University because I believe in the importance of continuous learning and the impact on employees, employability, the consumers they serve, and the broader economic impact on Connecticut. Given its vast areas of expertise, I believe that Quinnipiac University has an obligation to support professional learning and development, and having a designated space where cohorts of employees across multiple industries in the state can come together to practice the skills we're teaching is a critical component of our programming. The Education Center at Quinnipiac is an essential element of our lifelong learning vision and impact. It will serve as a catalyst for upskilling employees, improving workforce cultures, building employee competencies, improving consumer services and outcomes, and helping employers attract, grow, and retain employees in the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much.
Good evening. I'll be brief. My name is Garrett Sheehan. I'm the President and CEO of the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce, President of the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce. My address is 7 Norwood Road, West Hartford, Connecticut. Understand the purpose of this hearing, but I do think it's important just to hear from the business community why a project like this is so important. When we talk to employers, whether they're in North Haven or throughout the region, workforce is the #1 priority that we hear from so many. And the way we work now, dealing with workforce is really to take the population we have here and how do we continue to upskill and fill the great job opportunities that we have in Connecticut. A lot of that is direct connections between our universities, our talent providers, and those employers. So a center like this really can have an impact for our companies continuing to have jobs, and we firmly believe that workforce is going to be the competitive advantage that we have here in Connecticut as we continue to grow. So on behalf of the Chamber, this is a project that we support. I do also just want to mention that Quinnipiac University has been a great Chamber member. Every year they host our annual State of the Town with the First Selectman and have been very supportive of the projects that we do throughout North Haven. On behalf of the Chamber and our members, I ask that you support this application.
Certainly, thank you very much.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, both of them.
Okay.
Hi, the girl.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Bethany Zemba, and I live at 99 Sugar Hill Road in North Haven. Thank you for your time and for listening. As a North Haven resident, I am writing to express my support for the proposed education center at Quinnipiac, located at 51 Ridge Road. The proposed plan involves renovating an abandoned church that has sat vacant for many years and abuts Quinnipiac's Mount Carmel campus. And the purpose is for professional education. These are not young kids. These are not the 18 to 21-year-old population. These are adults who live in the area who will be coming, and as Elson said, there for professional development that lasts 6 hours. And it'll be a benefit to those people as they look at their careers and weigh their options about whether or not they see growth in their career in Connecticut. As mentioned, I live in North Haven, and I chose to make this town my home because of the thoughtful leadership, including that of First Selectman Mike Frieda and its governing bodies. I also chose to live here because of the proximity to Quinnipiac University, where I work. When I first arrived at Quinnipiac 6 years ago, President Olean was new to her role, and she hired me to serve as the university's first Vice President of Strategy and Community Relations because she saw the importance of the integration and collaboration of our sister towns with the university. She said to me more than once, a strong North Haven is a strong Quinnipiac, and a strong Quinnipiac is a strong North Haven. And I wholeheartedly agree. Our collective successes are cumulative and make us both stronger. In my role, focused on community relations, I have actively worked to build bridges between the residents of North Haven and Hamden by fostering open communication. My efforts have ranged from going door to door with locally baked cookies to provide direct contact information for reporting community complaints to establishing an off-campus housing task force that includes local representations interested in partnering with Quinnipiac. I also established the Mount Carmel Working Group, sending letters to every property adjacent to our campus in both North Haven and Hamden, inviting them to monthly meetings to discuss and address concerns. For instance, this fall, before student move-in, I received a request to manage traffic on Hogan Road. By collaborating with the town, we successfully removed Hogan Road from the GPS navigation, ensuring that new families unfamiliar with the area would be directed to main roads like the Route 40 connector. Additionally, I maintain a listserv to important updates for this group, invite them to campus for lectures and events, including our upcoming Halloween Boo Bash on October 19th. Everybody here is invited. With the assistance of our first selectman, Sal Burney and I met with the nearby neighbors to discuss this very project we're talking about tonight. The reason why I share this is because I want the commission to know that the university takes our proposal very seriously and the concerns of these neighbors. We want to foster connections with neighbors with the aim of collaborating effectively. While we may not always see eye to eye, civil discourse is an invaluable skill. And on behalf of Quinnipiac, along with numerous faculty, staff, and students, I am dedicated to bridging this gap and welcoming open dialogue. It is my hope that we can work together on this project and make the necessary adjustments so that everybody feels heard, respected, and that we are moving forward together. I urge the commission to approve this application. Thank you.
Thank you very much, young lady. Thank you. Well, you're last?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening, and I'll be brief. My name is Walter Mann, 7 MANN, 7 Benedict Drive, North Haven. Proud resident since 1964. I'm also chairman of the North Haven Economic Development Commission. I'm going to speak just on the idea of the education center itself. I'm not going to comment on the site or location. But recently we have undertaken as a commission site visits with businesses in North Haven. And the two top concerns of businesses, and some of the comments I have will echo what Garrett Sheehan had said before me. But two of the top concerns for those businesses are the rising cost of healthcare insurance for their employees and the lack of skilled workforce. And we saw when Amazon came into North Haven that one of their concerns before coming in and solidifying the deal was to be assured that there was enough capable and skilled folks in the workforce to handle the responsibilities of the opportunities, the positions they have at Amazon. But nonetheless, I think the importance of having the Adult Education Center is to address the lack of skilled or enough skilled labor in the workforce. Luckily with Amazon, Mike Frieda with his ties with the Workforce Alliance, and he works closely with them, they were able to, convince Amazon at the time that the labor they needed was there. But the higher skilled labor, there's certainly a lacking of that in the workforce, and I think this center would help address that. So, I'm in support of it in that sense, because I think the idea of the Adult Education Center in and of itself is a good idea. And that's
Thank
all
you,
I have to say.
Walt.
Thank you.
Okay, now, Bernie, you can
I'm
close.
just going to submit a few letters. I'm not going to read them. I know Alan will distribute them so you can see them. One is Mr. Smullen's letter that he spoke from. Thank you. And so I'll bring that up. Second letter from Greg and Paula Miller. They live at 90 Sacker Point Road. Paula's the tennis coach at Quinnipiac. From Michelle Benora, who's representative of the New Haven Adult and Continuing Education Center. John Benora from First County Bank, the First County Bank Foundation, and from the Lifelong Learning Center, Jennifer Benson and Nathaniel Johnson, program directors of the center. And Bethany's letter that she read off of. I'll submit all those, and before we end, I'll make sure I haven't missed any. If there are additional letters, I'll bring them in.
Okay,
Okay, Bernie.
and just for the record, the speakers who spoke most recently, we've got exhibits C through H
I mean, you got T-do.
in order.
2D ones onto, I guess.
No, this is public hearing number 1 for this.
Okay.
So we can just go with that. And we'll leave these letters we'll treat separately, and we'll copy them for the commission so they'll go in the record.
Okay. Bernie, is that your presentation?
We have more letters.
I'll get those letters to you before the night is out.
Okay. Okay. We're going to open this up to the public. I suppose you're all in opposition to this, so this is what this is all about. If you're in opposition, now's your time to speak. I'm going to start anywhere you want to start. Put your hand up so I can see what we're dealing with. Oh, yeah. Well,
Vern,
we'll be here till midnight, I guess.
Vern, where are we headed with this at this point?
I'm sorry?
Where are we headed with this in terms of a time limit on this?
Well, I was going to try to end it at 10 o'clock, but if we got to run till 10:30, I was going to check with the commission, see if that's all right.
Understanding we've got 2 site plans
Yeah.
and a change of use that are waiting for us. Okay.
If this is being continued anyway, the
Yeah,
public,
we could do it.
the public hearing is staying open.
Be easier.
Okay, you want to speak first, John?
Well, I just want to
say that we probably will present more of our testimony later on. I'd kind of like to get a look at the plan. Oh, my name is John Parisi, 25 Tokenique Drive, North Haven. Okay. There are some people that won't be here next month, and we could take care of them. And then I'd kind of like to get, we have a traffic engineer, we have a civil engineer, we have an environmentalist. I prefer not to bring them back again next month, but I don't think we're going to get to everybody. But I know there's one lady here that will not be here next month, so I'll yield to her, and we'll see how it goes, if that works.
Well, it certainly does work. You know, we want to do as much as we can to get the people that want to speak and are not going to be here, or whatever the case may be. But this is going to be open. This public hearing is going to be open next month. So if you want to save your comments till then, that's okay as well. But it will be open. If you want to speak now, go
I
ahead.
do, because I can't be here.
Sure,
I'll be out
okay,
of state.
speak now.
Bonnie Byers, 300 Hogan Road, Hamden, since 1977. Oh, I'm sorry. B-Y-E-R-S. Bonnie. B-O-N-N-I-E. First of all, I want to say that the Quinnipiac School of Education is a wonderful idea. Everything I heard, who could argue with it? It's just on the wrong site. It's the wrong site. Quinnipiac owns 700 acres. 700, think about it. I think Bernie said the main campus is 245 acres, but they own 700. And actually, I'm contiguous to Quinnipiac on two sides. I've watched the college grow since Dick Terry was president, and I'm proud of it. It's done a good job, and I thank Bethany for getting GPS not to go up Hogan Road, because we had drivers every 10 minutes going 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. Anyway, I think it's a great idea. Wrong site. Even below me, there are 36 acres, all of which Quinnipiac owns. The president's house is on that site, and most of the property is not used. And maybe 3 acres out of that 36 could be used. I just think it's a residential area, and what you're doing is upsetting so many people that have lived there for generations. And just because it's in the books, as Bernie said, as an industrial area, that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be changed. I mean, there are portions of the New Haven Green that are still in the books as dedicated to hanging witches, and they haven't changed it. And, times change, and it is a residential area. Okay, I'm almost done. The new thing that I'm learning about is something called Lights Out Connecticut, and the effects, I did mention this before, of light pollution. The light pollution is going to be the new don't smoke. I mean, my parents smoked, I don't smoke. Light pollution is really scary. Google it tonight or tomorrow. There's a much higher incidence of breast cancer and prostate cancer and depression with the workers who work outside at night, whether it's on the roads or whether it's in Amazon factories, much higher. Artificial light is not good, even if they focus it down. Anyway, okay, I'm getting there. I think, salting. One thing I wanted to say, Sal mentioned that they will, and Quinnipiac is good at this, take care of the roads if we get a snowstorm. But I hike on Spruce Bank Road after snowstorms. It's beautiful down there. And they do a job that goes all the way, but the salt goes way off the roads. They do too good a job, and all the vegetation is dying after it's been heavily salted. I don't want that to happen. And let's see, I have one more point. Oh, this is really important. And think of your neighbors who live there now. I have Quinnipiac on two sides of me. I have parking lots as close to my house as there will be to all the neighbors who live on both sides on Ridge Road. Day and night, 24/7. By accident, not on purpose, by accident, car alarms go off. I mean, they just go. That's not fair to impose upon people in a residential area. And I think that's about it. I just don't
Thank
think it's
you.
fair. Okay.
We're good.
I'm
Thank you very much. You did a good job.
How you doing? I'll be very short. My
Please.
name is Joshua Calderon, resident of 5000 Ridge Road. I just feel like a lot that was said were vague explanations of how one program in one building is going to all of a sudden boost North Haven and Quinnipiac. And I just feel like by the committee, I would hope that you would take stock of where we're at in America. And I don't know if the dean is still here, but discussing how much these students are actually paying for college and paying back, those loans, and we're making decisions to help the people. I think it's, again, very vague, and hopefully the committee can take into consideration and make decisions to preserve more goodness instead of trying to gain more goodness. So I think that's where we're at in America as well. And I hope that Quinnipiac can respect the fact that we've given them, as North Haveners, as Hamden residents, enough space, a lot of space, right? And they contribute a lot to our community as well. But this is something that the people just don't want. And hopefully we can continue that healthy relationship, taking that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Menk Andemichael. I'm the resident of 3030 Ridge Road. And in addition to concerns about the traffic, which seems the most obvious, I'd like to second the previous mention of light pollution. When they're describing these 60-foot tall light poles at a facility that's open.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Oh, Menk Andemichael. Yeah,
Can you spell
she has my spelling.
Okay.
It's a lot of letters.
Okay, never mind.
So my concern about the light pollution is these 60-foot tall light poles at a place that's going to be open 7 days a week, closing at 16. Okay, that's better. Are those ever going to turn off? Are those going to be around all the time, the way many parking lots do? They have some sort of low lighting. I'm concerned that that's going to add to the light pollution in the area. And then sort of a broader question about this, these are non-resident adult students. Wouldn't they be served better by having this facility in a place that's a little more densely populated and has existing mass transit, so they don't have to drive there? It seems kind of an odd place to have it up in the hills there. So
Okay.
that's my point.
Thank you very much. Yep. No. You folks all cannot be here next month, correct? We kind of like to take you all, but we can't do it tonight. So if you could stay here next month, please. If you can't be, speak now. Go ahead.
Good evening, Commission. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, good. Good evening, everybody. Thank you. My name is Peter Madden. I live at 91 Rimmon Road in North Haven. I've been here for about 33 years. I'm also the president of the North Haven Land Trust. We own 15 and a half acres of land, which is at the south side of this property, about 3 neighbors removed, and we are in the upslope of that area. We, on our 15 and a half acre property that we share with a piece of Hamden, we have a 3-acre pond that we're very concerned about the health and vitality of that pond. My concern today is I applaud Quinnipiac for any endeavor that increases education, but I think we all need to be smart. We want Quinnipiac to be solid, but we want Quinnipiac to be smart. The downhill water course that comes from our little pond cascades down into the back of this property, and it shares water both going to the Mill River, and it also courses down to the Quinnipiac River. I have a concern, especially because of this particular area of Prospect, Bethany, Hamden, North Haven has been a continual problem for violent storms. Who doesn't remember Hogan Road in 2018, May, when you couldn't pass Hogan Road? How many pine trees came down at Sleeping Giant? This area is, don't ask me, I'm not a weather person, but it seems to be in a very popular location for disruption. My concern is 95 parking spaces, impervious, a tremendous amount of impervious surfaces. We're feeding a septic system that exits water back onto Quinnipiac property, which is these 3 acres. I didn't hear that it's exiting sewage beyond on Quinnipiac property. But I'm concerned about water distribution in this area, and obviously I'm in the business of habitat for life, for all. Residents, wildlife, and for the little folks that want to take advantage of our 15-acre, now was a Boy Scout camp, now it's an open area
Very
for
nice.
the residents.
That is
That's
very
all
nice.
that's all I'd like to say. And
Okay, thank you very
I
much.
yield.
Yep, thank you.
My name is Sigrun Gadwa. Is this on?
Yeah, everything is on.
Okay. I'm the principal of Carrier Ecological Services, and I'm working here.
Can you spell your name? Say your name.
Sigrun, and the last name's Gadwa. And I'm here on behalf of a group of neighbors on Ridge Road. I'm an ecologist and a wetland scientist, and testified in the prior wetlands proceeding. But I was asked to speak to you about the flora and the fauna and the little stream that starts just below the level spreader, and explain a little bit that why this particular location is very close to the top of the ridge, and it has very shallow soil, so that there's a lot of groundwater. The rain, the precipitation, doesn't sink down deep into the a deep water table. It slides down the hill and as groundwater seepage, and feeds seepage wetlands and little streams that begin here and that converge into a tributary of the Mill River. And they're small. And the size and the scale of this project we're really concerned that it's going to overwhelm them. Currently we did water quality testing, and there's less than 1 milligram per liter of nitrogen in the water right now, the headwater stream. At the wetland boundary, the modeling showed that there would be about a little over 25 milligrams per liter of nitrogen. And that's treated leachate from the septic system. And you have to understand that it's something people don't necessarily realize. Septic systems, the leachate from them is generally diluted from lots of groundwater that's coming from uphill that mixes with the leachate. But when you're right at the top of a hill, you have less dilution because you're at the top. There's not dilution from above. So it is actually a very special little seepage wetland with very uncommon goldenrod, a solidago, and it has silver maples, which are normally in the very mineral-rich Big River floodplains are right up here on the hilltop, and pagoda dogwoods, and a grass that likes very pristine water, low nutrient levels. All that's going to change, and that is part of North Haven's quality of life.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yep.
And
You know, folks, I'm going to run this thing. We do have some other business to tend to. I'm going to let this go to, where's John Parisi? I'm going to let this go to 10 o'clock, but.
So we did collect some data.
You don't.
No,
over
miss,
there.
Over there.
Okay.
Sorry.
She used to have one. Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marilyn Calderon, and I live at 5000 Ridge Road in North Haven, Connecticut. And we have heard tonight a great deal about health, wellness, co-creating environments for healthy professionals, the church location being a very peaceful and quiet place, a place of lifelong learning, and a place of solace. We've also listened to a great deal of people stating, reimagining what our futures would look like with roving leaders and leaders that are in our Quinnipiac University site. There are many, many people that go to Quinnipiac that have graduated successfully, and I'm one of those people. I graduated from their master's program, and I feel that I would like to commend the great work that Quinnipiac has done with their alumni. However, when it starts hampering the growth and the wellness of my own family, that's where I draw the line. I moved to 5000 Ridge Road to find solace for my father that is dying of cancer, and now I have a father-in-law that's also in the same type of situation. I do not want floodlights keeping us up all night, and I know that the artificial lighting negatively impacts the well stance of our family. When I'm thinking about that issue, I'm thinking about what am I going to do to preserve the life that I thought I was paying into in the North Haven area to ensure that I didn't have to worry about somebody hampering my family's health and wellness. So when I look at the health and wellness and all the pieces that everyone is talking about regarding reimagining, we need to reimagine what it would look like having a wonderful little space the way it is now that was intended for spiritual gatherings, people to come together, things that our youth naturally negate this time around because they believe more in the science and the technology movement. We have to get back to the basics and understand that without spirituality, you have nothing. And at the end of the day, I'm not here to preach to the choir or tell people how to live, but I do believe that if you have a spiritual place of gathering, it should be respected as such. And it should be also reimagined to be a place and space that's safe for your own family's health and wellness without hampering the situations of having unintended light that comes into my own environment and spills into my space and place and property because it becomes very uncomfortable. So at this juncture, when it comes to the health and wellness, I would hope that this community based meeting will negate any growth for Quinnipiac to go into our neighborhood. Thank you so very much.
Thank
and have
you
a
very
blessed
much
night.
for speaking. Yep, thank you so much. Okay, John?
Mr. Chairman, we just as soon
Yeah.
suspend at this point, and then, you know, it was kind of
Continue
you to
this. We're gonna
listen to the
leave
folks
this
that aren't
open,
gonna be here.
folks, till next month. I hope that you folks can attend next month and have your say. But tonight, we're just too many to speak, and we just can't do it. In any event, is that good with you,
Is that what you
John?
wanted to ask me? Because I think that's an excellent idea, rather than try to have people rush through, let's
Well, we will
wait
be
till next
rushing-
month.
we
And I
will
think
be
they're gonna
rushing.
be making, if I understood Mr. Pellegrino correctly, they're gonna be making some changes to the plans. We'd like to see
Well,
what
that's
they are.
what he said.
Yeah.
Is that good with the commission?
Sounds wrong.
Mr. Chairman?
No.
Well, I thought I did that.
Yeah, he did.
I thought I did that. There-
Do we want to continue on, she's saying, with the opposition at the next meeting, since that's the stage
Correct.
we're in?
Alana, we're
Well,
going.
wait a second.
What?
Or do you want them, if there are changes to it, does it make more sense to listen to the changes first and have the opposition speak? So
You think that's a good idea, don't you?
I did, but Lana's saying something different, I think, correct?
No.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah,
I don't think we have to, I don't think we have to make that decision tonight anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Stand by.
We're gonna have to ask for both next, on the 12th. The 12th, November.
So So the meeting would be Tuesday night, November 12th, 7 o'clock, in the gymnasium, 7 Lindsley Street, Parks and Rec. The old center school, if anyone cares.
Hopefully, most of
All
you
right.
folks can make this meeting. I know you're here to speak. I'm sorry?
Point of information,
Yes.
that those people who are here tonight are speaking from their hearts about certain issues, certain feelings, one way or the other. If we're waiting for a month to speak to you, you do not have the advantage of hearing our voices as you deliberate over the next month. That would be.
We're not
We're not
deliberating.
deliberating, we're not deliberating on anything.
We're not deliberating.
We're not deliberating over anything, miss. Absolutely, the meeting is just gonna be continued the next month, and you will all have your chance to speak. And we will take in everything you have to speak, and we will deliberate on the total application at that time, I would presume.
And we're restricted from doing that, so that's, just to be clear, like, there's clear definitions of us not doing that.
Mr. Chair, just for the record, I wanted to put in these additional letters, and there's copies in there for everybody.
Okay.
Letters of support from various.
Very good.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody in those letters that lives in our neighborhood? So they're all speaking about this great place being outside of the neighborhood.
We can look at that. You can come and
That's it.
take a look.
Bernie, this is, on your side, this is the way it's gonna be, John. And for all you,
Do I have to give you an extension, Alan?
I think you should.
Yes, if you'd like to put on the record that you're granting
Yeah,
the
you
commission
should.
an extension,
I
that
thought
would
you
be
did, actually.
helpful.
I gave us an extension to get those.
Yeah.
So, for the record, Bernie Pellegrino, on behalf of the applicant, we hereby grant the commission an extension of time of 35 days, whatever it is, to get us to November 12th.
okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Bernie.
I got one question for Bernie. Would you be able to, for the next meeting, provide some details of what the curriculum that they're proposing, either if we don't have it going forward, historically over the last few years of what the lifelong learning is potentially providing?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank
Sometimes I
you.
think they're tailor-made depending on.
Yeah,
who
no,
they're
we'll just,
working with,
then,
but generally, I
and
think-
that's why I said not, so maybe not, if going forward's not there, what the previous
Yeah.
has been. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Bernie, thank you very much. Thank you, folks. I'm sorry. We'll continue this thing. Thank you. We'll take a 10-minute break. Okay, let me get a line through this.
All right.
A line
Ian,
through
this
this.
is the system. We don't have the guy who's working
Okay,
anymore.
now we are at Stillman Road.
Just so you know.
John, are you
Just so
up
you
on
know.
this one, Stillman Road?
I'm having my esteemed colleague present this application for me. I'm just here to carry your book.
Much easier to look at than you, I can tell you that.
Beg your pardon?
Hey, I'm not saying, I won't repeat that one.
Paul, hit
That's
him.
not on the, yeah, you're lucky that's not on the record.
Okay.
Please don't shut it off.
Okay, this, since we've been reading all these calls in on this, it isn't necessary, I know. Brian, would you read the call in on this one?
Sure, this
On
is,
this- Go ahead.
this is P 24-15. Site plan application of James E. Feehan, applicant, Feehan LLC, owner relative to 10 Stillman Road, map 66, lot 94, plan entitled Proposed Layout Plan, New England Fire Equipment and Apparatus Corp., 10 Stillman Road, North Haven, Connecticut, prepared by Alfred Associates, dated September 27th, 1994, revised 7/7/23, scale 1 inch equals 40 feet, IL 80 zoning district.
Okay. John, take it away.
Catherine, take it away.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Catherine Bullock, spelled Kathryn Bullock, and I'm here on behalf of 10 Stillman Road, Mr. James Feehan, Feehan LLC. I'm here with Perrette, Porto, Parisi, and Colwell, and my esteemed colleague and boss, John Parisi, who is a bit more knowledgeable in these matters than I am, so he is here to help with the presentation. So our client is looking for an expansion to a current building. The expansion will be approximately 100 feet by 200 feet. It will be a single-story building that is primarily focused on the repair and storage of fire trucks and rescue vehicles, which is the work that they currently do at this site. We were at the Inland Wetlands Commission recently, and the matter was approved without any issue. We were talking about the sidewalk, which we will talk about in just a second. We are going to be requesting a waiver on the sidewalks. So for the matter, I did notice that there were a couple of comments that I would like to address from the Planning and Zoning Commission. So the comment 1 on the Planning and Zoning Commission talks about the need to at least have a one-way signage it's behind the building, closest to the fence. It's closest to the self-storage service area. While we understand the need for this one-way, that is going to be primarily used, should exclusively be used by the authorized vehicles from B&L LLC. Therefore, what we are requesting is that instead of a one-way, that we just put a couple of signs that say no unauthorized access. The idea is to keep, I understand, is to keep the public out from mistakenly going back there. Could be a little bit, they might have these rescue vehicles or fire truck engines moving back and forth. However, we believe that signs that say no unauthorized access will reach this same goal. So the second comment here, where they're talking about, one of the benefits of adding this building is that some of the storage will be able to be brought inside, as they will have more space, interior space. They are happy to limit this outside storage to 15 vehicles. And they have been limiting to 15 customer vehicles. I understand that this says vehicles and does not specifically relate to what type of vehicle. So if we could get some clarification on when you guys are talking outside storage of 15 vehicles, are you talking about the fire trucks, the rescue engines?
Any vehicle.
Any vehicle whatsoever, okay. So I am happy to talk with my client about this. He's not disagreeing on the need to only keep 15 out there. So he's happy to work with that, but the building will allow him to bring more of these vehicles inside so that there will be less storage necessary on the outside. As far as comment 3, my client is happy to do so. He doesn't want trash flying around either, so he's happy to place a dumpster enclosure. I'm going to come back to comment 4 regarding the sidewalks. Comment 5, there is no new asphalt pavement. The building is going to go on top of asphalt that is already currently paved, and there is no intention to pave anything further. So
That's not true.
that is not true?
No, the driveway access that comes into the building is being regraded, so all that asphalt's going to be replaced. So all I'm asking for is just show the limits of what you're going to replace, that's all.
Yep, we're happy to do that. And then as far as comment 6, we're happy to we have no problem with any of those comments that are set forth on the conditions of approval. So as far as the sidewalk, we are requesting a sidewalk waiver. This is where I am going to pass this off to Attorney John Parisi for a more in-depth explanation of why we are requesting this waiver.
Well, for those of you who weren't on the commission 10 years ago, this is, I think, just about the identical plan that this commission already approved. And for a variety of reasons, it never got built, and the approval expired, including COVID and unavailability of materials. But in any event, this is not a new concept for this commission. And it was approved with the sidewalk waiver. The reason we're asking for the waiver is it's basically requiring us to put down a 5-foot slab of concrete that is not going to accomplish anything. The only businesses on this property are starting at Broadway and moving in a generally northerly direction. You've got New England fire equipment repair. Next is a self-storage facility, and then after that is Jensen Industries. There's no reason for people to be walking there, and aside from getting us my client to spend more money on it, we're gonna be creating additional impervious surface that, listen, it's not gonna bankrupt the project if he has to put in a 5-foot sidewalk. But in
John, just
addition,
let me
if I-
interrupt you 1 second.
Sure.
John, is there sidewalks there now?
No.
There's not, there's zero.
There's none
Zero.
there. I'll tell you what is there, though. There's a fire hydrant, and so we'd have to kind of work around that.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Please, I'm here to try
Yeah, well-
to answer your questions and give you reasons to waive the sidewalks. And everything else that the Land Use Office and Department of Engineering.
That area of Broadway has nothing as well, with possibility on the other side of, I believe this side of Broadway, there's nothing connecting to the medical center or go over the train bridge the other direction.
Yeah, Mr. Parisi, the problem with going over or adding a sidewalk to this side of Broadway is you're going over the bridge that goes over the railroad tracks, and the pavement is.
I'm agreeing, in my mind, I'm trying to picture the lot, and I'm pretty sure there was nothing to connect to on Broadway as well.
I think there's something on the other side of the bridge, on the south side. But I would have to say, and I don't say this often, it's technically infeasible to get a sidewalk on Broadway on the north side. I would not, I think you're really just talking about
That's kind of what I'm
Stillman,
saying, yes.
which as the other Mr. Parisi has said, there are no sidewalks.
One misspells it.
I was not sure, but go ahead, continue, John.
Well, I think that's it, unless the commission has any questions for me. We're agreeing to do everything that the Land Use Office asked for. The one thing we are gonna ask you to do is renew your waiver of the sidewalks. And,
Do you have any
Mr. Quick,
insight?
you look like you have to say something.
Yeah. Do you have any insight in where the local mass transit stops would be? Is there anyone using that would be walking there? Whether
You're
it
talking
be-
about the railroad?
No, or bus.
I'm sorry, I don't.
It's
We're
okay. I'm just.
The bus doesn't go down Stillman, that's
Okay.
all I would
But,
say.
what about Broadway? Probably
I
not.
would guess it crosses over on Route 5 from State down Broadway, but I'm not exactly sure of that. I know it runs all the way up Quinnipiac Avenue, and I know it runs up and down State Street.
Yeah.
But
And I can't imagine
No.
that anyone would be walking to any of those locations. If you're gonna have a self-storage, you probably need a vehicle to get the stuff there, and Jensen Industries.
You know, it's,
Yeah.
10 Stillman's, much more of an employer than self-storage, right? It's little difference there. I'm sure you can see the nuances, so. That answers my question.
Andy, is everything good on the site with you as far as the impervious soil goes and whatever?
Oh, yeah. No, I've gone through all that. They are impacting the floodplain from some of the work that they're doing, but they're doing compensatory storage, which was incorporated into the design of the project, so that takes care of that. They will need a permit, and they will need a floodplain permit,
Sure.
because there is work being done, but that shouldn't be really any kind of an issue. Yeah, I don't really have any major issues. I mean, I outlined my comments in in my review, so.
Good, so you're good with the comments?
Yeah.
Good, okay.
Mr. Chairman, a quick explanation. This is a special permit use. There is a special permit that's there. When this application came through some 10 years ago, while the site plan was never consummated and there was no bond posted, they did file the special permit, so the special permit is valid. So that's why they don't have a special permit before you at this time. The special permit is what had the stipulation for the number of vehicles to be kept there overnight/stored.
Okay, I just gotta, the 15 outside stores, is that gonna be adequate for what you need there?
According to our client, yes.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
I mean, if you were inclined to,
No, I'm not, but I just wanna know, if you're gonna need more and you anticipate more, now's the time to talk about it.
Well, now's the time to talk about it, but you don't have the special permit before you. So you would need to amend the special permit by making another application. So really, in a way, it's not on the table
Is it-
tonight.
okay, well, if,
You can talk about it.
if it turns out that the additional indoor storage is inadequate, we'll come back to you with an application
Right.
to amend the special permit. Thank you
Okay,
for
well,
bringing that up.
I just wanna talk about it, so.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I appreciate it, yeah.
Good. You're good?
Yep.
Brian?
I just want to understand, is there, hey, it looks to me from looking at these plans like pavement from behind the building is being removed, is that right? Is it?
Correct. Because, behind the existing building.
Behind the existing building?
Well, that's where the addition's going.
The addition's going there, okay, that makes sense. Okay.
That's fine. Ken?
No, I have no questions.
You're good? Okay. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very
for
much.
your
Yeah.
attention.
Okay, Brian? Move on to the P2420, that's fine.
Sure, this is P 24-20. Site plan application of Crown Point Capitals, Connecticut, LLC, applicant LGID, New York LLC, owner relative to 413 Washington Avenue, map 90, lot 64, plan entitled Proposed Convenience Store and Fuel Pumps, 413 Washington Avenue, North Haven, Connecticut, prepared by Godfrey Hoffman Hodge, LLC, dated August 30th, 2024, scale 1 inch equals 40 feet. What's the zoning district?
IL 30. IL 30.
It's not here.
IL 30.
IL 30.
Let me just check.
Says
That's
on
what I've
there.
got.
Right on there.
Good evening, Marcus Puddick from Godfrey Hoffman office at 26 Broadway. Okay, that's fine. My name is Marcus Puddick, M-A-R-C-U-S, P-U-T-T-O-C-K. Good evening, thanks for hearing us this evening. It's been a long night, I know. This is the redevelopment of a site that is directly adjacent to the access road for Amazon's warehouse, which is to the rear of this parcel. It involves a lot line revision as the first step, which is which will reconfigure the existing lots that exist. There was a non-conforming lot that at the rear of this parcel, adjacent to the Amazon access road, which was not usable, and so that parcel has been reconfigured with the adjoining parcel to create a single 1.6 acre lot for what we're here to talk about today. And we also propose to construct a driveway entrance that will later serve whatever other development decides to come about in the rear, which obviously, when and if there is a development proposal for that, we would come back to you for that proposal. So this is strictly a 7-Eleven with 6 gas pumps, located on 1.6 acres. We've been through all of the comments from the town staff and are agreeable to almost all of them. I did have some concerns about one of them, and I'll touch on that later. The landscape plan, because it's the easiest to see. We propose to have one access drive with both left and right turn in and left and right turn out onto Washington Avenue, and then a single entrance that is for 7-Eleven only, that is a right turn in, right turn out. Those entrances are reasonably close to the Amazon access road, we understand that. We've submitted this to DOT already. They are beginning their process of reviewing those driveways, and I'll have the traffic engineer who's here with me, Chris Baker, speak on that shortly. But those will have to be approved by DOT, and there may be some minor realignment that occurs with those driveways based on their comments. This area of Washington Avenue has been a real focus of theirs recently with the Amazon driveway and how it functions and that. So they have a good understanding of how this entrance works. There were, I believe, 4 or 5 driveway entrances existing on this lot prior to the buildings being raised. So we're improving the condition from what it was. Obviously, right now it's just a vacant piece of land, but we believe that the driveways should function quite well for 7-Eleven's use. We provided for storm drainage and all of the required landscaping within this zone. I don't really have a whole lot more to say about it. I'll allow our traffic engineer to speak a little bit on the traffic.
Thanks, Marcus. For the record, my name is Charlie Baker with VHB. We prepared.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
We prepared a traffic impact study that evaluated the potential off-site traffic impacts of the project. And I'll be very brief because I don't spend a long night, but the overall conclusion of our study was that the project would have a negligible impact on the surrounding traffic conditions. One of the main reasons for that is that convenience store and gas station developments, majority of traffic to that type of use tends to be primarily pass-by trips, meaning it's not generating new traffic out onto the roadway where people are leaving their house, driving to the site, and then driving back where they were. Most of the traffic visiting this site are people that are already on the road, passing by the site, who just choose to stop in for the development on their way to somewhere else. So there are very minimal traffic impacts on off-site intersections. We also studied the Amazon Distribution Center driveway because it is so close to the site, and found that signalized intersection operates acceptably today, and our development traffic will have a negligible impact on that intersection. As Marcus mentioned, we are proposing 2 driveways that, because it's a state road, they are subject to the review and approval of the Connecticut Department of Transportation. The only additional thing I will mention as far as the roadway and driveway access is that we're recommending minor restriping along Washington Avenue just to provide a left turn lane into our main site driveway. There's already pavement there, and there's an existing left turn lane southbound on Washington Avenue to provide access to the development across the street from the Amazon Distribution Center. And our traffic analysis found that that left turn lane is way longer than it needs to be. So we'd essentially just repurpose that space to provide a short left turn lane into our site, just so that people turning left into the site can get out of the through lane and they won't cause any backups for vehicles passing by the site. That restriping, again, is subject to review and approval by DOT, but
I think,
but to me, it's a clear benefit to the traveling public, so I would not expect DOT to have any objection to that.
I have just a question regarding that. Marcus, you mentioned you're dealing with DOT.
Mm-hmm.
Are you dealing with OSTA or are you dealing with Pond Lily?
Pond Lily, because OSTA, we aren't large enough to have to deal with OSTA. Certainly, if the rest of it gets developed, that for sure would rise to a level, I would think, where it would need to go to OSTA.
We're obligated to have a DOT approval, whatever they think.
Yep.
OSTA has been reviewing the corner of that drive and Route 5. I shouldn't say drive, it's a road at this point.
Yep.
If DOT Pond Lily feels they can make the call or what have you, then that's DOT's issue, not ours.
Yeah,
But-
I would think there should be some coordination, and we'll find out whether there
Fair
is or
enough.
isn't,
Okay.
and whatnot.
Okay.
We did want to be good citizens on the.
Did you guys give consideration to coming in off of the Amazon driveway for access to the site? That's light controlled, it's gonna be a lot easier to get in and out of the
It's
development. It's a town road.
Yeah, the slope is prohibitive.
Okay. Because I gotta tell you, I really don't like the two driveway. I really don't like the two curb cuts. You know, if you had just the
There was-
one,
there was
maybe it'd be a little
existing
different.
curb cuts.
I would love to see a way to get in off the driveway, but.
Would you have both
It-
traffic coming to the other
it's-
driveway? Would you have the close one and just use the other?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think
That would be, that's not something that 7-Eleven would, as a corporate, and their agreements and whatnot, would entertain if they, unless they really had to.
I understand how
They-
it's-
they need to have their-
That's just-
So
I think they really have
This
to.
is designed as a write-in, write-out only,
Mhm.
and we can certainly deal with DOT and OSTA to see how we might, you know, if we need to neck that down or whatever to make them comfortable with that traffic functioning.
So it's a state road, so we
Yeah.
actually have to approve it before they'll approve it.
Yes.
So they'll make changes, even if we made changes, they can
Yes.
change those.
That's
to
that's
what they
exactly
want.
right. So we.
Right, so I just want to
Yeah, I
understand
Yeah.
Well,
They will get the
Charlie
last
could
call.
suggest a left turn-in lane. I know this is contingent on what the state's gonna tell you.
Yeah.
But where are you looking for that left turn-in lane right there?
Yeah.
It'd be up in here.
Up in there. So
Yeah.
you've got, the top, you've got a right turn-in lane.
So we're both directions in,
Yeah.
and then left out, right out.
Yeah, and then you got.
And then this one is just a right in and a right
Yeah,
out.
it's okay. Thanks.
Again, not to micromanage what DOT is going to determine, but on the southerly, what I'll call it, one entrance with a pork chop in the
I
middle there.
think that's not good.
The northerly incoming lane, who uses that? I realize 7-Eleven may desire that, but it seems to me to be something where you'd have a very small number of people. I don't know if, Charlie, you can, expound on that, but what's the value of that? And the reason that I ask is basically, we've had a lack of success here in town in terms of designing that particular island feature such that it really prohibits people from trying to take that left. So if it were eliminated, that would get rid of that. I'm just looking at value
You're
added.
talking about the southern one there?
Yeah, yeah, that
Well,
seems,
Yeah, because we have the similar situation on Washington Avenue where it's not enough that the guy, they shouldn't be able to make it the opposite turn there.
Oh,
They shouldn't be
yeah.
able to make a left-hand turn.
I think people that can left out of Starbucks. I mean,
Right.
yeah,
That's what I was
yeah,
thinking.
that's,
Twice, actually.
Yeah.
The old one and the new one, but yeah.
Or the
I just wondered
CVS,
what the
same
overall
thing.
value of that is.
People
Right.
speed too. There's not a lot, you can only do what you can do, right?
Yeah.
People are gonna do,
And it ain't going anywhere.
break rules, but,
It is, I mean, I'm sure 7-Eleven would prefer that access there.
So you're gonna connect the sidewalks there to the existing sidewalks so that people from the Arch apartment can walk there?
we are proposing sidewalks across
Yeah.
our frontage, but not
Right.
the entire frontage of both parcels, because we don't control or
No, I
own the
understand
adjacent
that, I
parcel.
understand that.
So to the end of the
But I could
the
see
new
that
proposed road,
it's
when
a-
when the rest gets developed, they will certainly connect the
Yeah,
rest of the
all those
sidewalk.
people in those apartments
But
can walk.
we don't own that
without-
parcel, so.
Without going on the street or crossing the street, so.
Yeah.
And I know you commented on Amy's comment about the Amazon driveway. I mean, that, so this is too steep, you said?
There is the hill through here is quite steep, because the driveway goes up fairly quickly,
It's
and
going over
our
railroad
property
tracks.
goes down. So
I've seen that.
there's just, we wouldn't be able to attack, we would be coming out like right here where it's, right at the intersection the same way, or just as bad. But then you'd have to try and deal with a truck that's sitting waiting. or 2 trucks, or however many trucks are sitting there waiting to get out past them.
So you're not, so you would be owning 7-Eleven or some other entity would own this new parcel? There would be a transaction, or is it a
Yes,
lease?
yes.
It's
Yes,
a transaction, okay.
This is a separate parcel that is going to be owned separately from the rest of the land. Yes.
And just to be clear, there is no re-subdivision. They're doing a lot line revision. So the lot at 413 already exists.
Yes.
And they're intending to reconfigure that lot.
Yeah.
So while, for a subdivision, I think you would have the clear right to require them to put the sidewalk all along the frontage of both lots. I would say at this point that you would not, because this would be a reconfigured lot. You could require them to do this particular sidewalk.
Seems like it's gonna make that lot, that new lot, definitely less appealing. It's gonna be harder to use. When you said, is that proposed?
The larger parcel still has plenty of space.
So, with when you said you don't own the land outside of the new,
So we're gonna own this parcel. This remaining land is owned by others, and we have an access easement across the new driveway, which would serve all the rest of these parcels, or all the rest of this development, whatever it may end up being.
so you're paving the property you don't own?
We are creating a driveway on an easement that we have an agreement with the owner of this parcel to build.
Who owns the parcel?
There's an LLC.
Still Rabina,
I think, no, it's not. It's LGIDNY LLC. If that helps.
Yeah. Anything else there, Brian?
No, there's part of that other part of that, there's a truck that's parked there all the time that acts as a sign. On
Existing.
Yeah, and they're gonna, you're not gonna have anything to do with that part.
No, we won't have it. For now, we don't have anything to do with the rest of this, parcel.
Okay.
Brian, you good?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm good.
We want to talk about the actual design, truck access, fueling.
Ask him any question you want.
The actual property, your site plan for your facility.
Yep.
Okay, access for tractor trailers for refueling, blocking pumps, where your delivery truck's coming to, will you lock access, parking spaces?
They do not block any access spaces. So I've shown here, right in with the wheelbase 67, so your fuel delivery truck takes a right in, goes around the building. Fuel tanks are along the side where there is no parking. And then they can, there's different scenarios where they back up and come through between the building and the pumps and go back out and go right through the main, I'll call it the main larger driveway. Or they could turn out through our right out only, the one in front, that is at 7-Eleven. So they can make all of those movements function very well. 7-Eleven, we did a lot of work on it, and 7-Eleven has done a lot of work. They have prototypes from all over the country to make
Deliveries
sure it works.
to the store itself.
Essentially similar, although they come around the buildings and would sit out front while stuff is going into the store, or in the back and bring stuff in through the store. They schedule those deliveries when there's minimal vehicle traffic, so that they're not blocking customers in or anything.
It's a 24/7 store.
Yeah, yeah.
Mark?
Not 7 to 11.
Brian?
I'm good.
I'm good.
In the section in the lower right of the lot, what's that square? Yeah.
It's just a lawn area with an underground storage, stormwater detention system below it, so it'd be just a green space.
just seems like that turn is so contentious. I think of the other things in town that are just so difficult, getting out into that, or someone's gonna try and turn left into that lower one. It's gonna be through the traffic there. It just seems really not a great design. Could the green space be brought over to the other side of where it is?
In other words, put the two driveways directly next to each other?
I think just seems like gonna be a dangerous spot. There's potential issues there. Seems like I don't know. It's not something I'm in favor of.
Okay. And anything else, Ken?
No.
All right, Rod?
So, I noticed there's a dotted line going through the underground storage tanks. That's not the property border, is it? They kind of spill over a dotted line, the underground storage tanks. If you go to a different page, it's a little clearer. I think they're within the lot, but I just don't know what that dotted line is. I'm not curious. It's the second or third page that you had that.
This page here?
Yeah, that's on there too. No, at the bottom, the very bottom. No. Where the underground storage tanks, where the gas is stored, the gas and diesel stored.
It's an easement, it's a slope right easement.
So, all right, so okay. The other question I had is, I know there are notes about the EV charging stations, and it sounds like this is not envisioned to happen right now, but I'm curious, if they're not being installed now and there's an idea maybe it's going to happen later, will there be conduit put in now and will they be made ready for it at a later date?
Yes, it's to be made ready for, but not actually, the charging stations themselves not installed.
Okay, and do you have any idea when that might be envisioned?
It would certainly come about in the future. So with the rules now, anything that has more than 30 spaces would end up having to put them in. So we only have 27, so we don't have to put them in, but anytime some of the rest of this gets developed, there will be EV charging stations there, and 7-Eleven does want them, so, but just not right away.
I would suggest taking the approval with the EV charging stations. They're gonna have to come back if they don't, to come back to the commission, has been the policy of the commission.
Is sort of why we showed them, was that the intention is to have them there, but we're not going to install them right away.
So the approval would include the EV charging stations?
Yeah, I would definitely do it that way.
Fair enough.
So they're not going to become the 28th, 29th, and 30th parking space, which would require you to do it later, but like now they're going to be.
No, it's because they're included in our parking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, and once you have the approval, how long do they have?
Well, you have 5 years extendable by up to 4 more. So at the moment, if we have another pandemic, you'll go back to 29 or whatever.
I can't imagine if you don't do it in 5 years, you'll ever do it.
Yeah. So the only we going through all of the approval conditions, have no objection to any of them other than the outside storage. I wanted to be clear whether the standard ice machines and on the side of the building, as you see over there, they're propane tanks, which they do keep outside of the building. Does that qualify as outside storage, and does it need to be noted in there as not part of, we don't have any other outside storage, but those things will be.
Those are site features.
Okay.
And you're indicating those on the drawing?
Yes.
And they would be approved as part of the site plan.
Okay.
Would not be considered
That's like
outdoor
LPG,
storage.
you're gonna swap LPG tanks?
Yeah, it's just that, like, they're propane tanks and then the ice chests that they put out front. So I just wanted to bring those up because I don't want anybody to, get upset that we didn't represent that as their outside storage.
I'm good.
Is there a reason you wouldn't have your EV Phase 2 type of plan included here, even though it's not being constructed yet?
They are shown.
Showing.
So they're all shown. The 4 spaces are in the rear of the building. All of the equipment that is required.
But you're not
is
putting
showing.
anything in,
We're
like-
not
okay.
intending to install it right away.
Okay.
It's a future
Gotcha.
And we're agreeable to sorting out with the fire, with the fire department where to put the fire hydrant in the back.
Okay.
That's close to, so that it will have fire protection if it's
So,
installed.
so just a nuance relative to bond releases. Okay, so you be approved with the EV charging stations. So if you don't put them in, but you want to keep that right to put them in, there'll have to be a portion of the bond that would be left remaining in place
Okay. Yeah, that
until
would be the-
such
yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Are we good?
I'm good, yes.
Thanks, yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay.
Okay.
Change of use.
Change of use. 125 State Street.
Good morning, guys.
I don't know if we have time to.
Hi, I'm Dominic DiBiaso, 55 Upper State Street, North Haven, Connecticut. I purchased 125 State Street from Palmieri Auto Sales. Palmieri is still leasing a spot there for me, from me. And I'm trying to put my business over there from Hamden, home improvement business. And that's basically,
How large is your company per se?
what do you mean, how large?
How many trucks do you have? Or
I got 5 trailers, 4 trucks.
okay.
Trailers for.
Dump trailers.
transporting- Oh, dump trailers.
Yes.
Like,
What did you say your last name was?
Dominic DiBiaso, D-I, capital B-I-A-S-O.
Okay.
So,
Brian? Any questions?
where are you gonna park those trucks?
I park them probably in the rear of the building.
See, now we have an administrative issue with this. The regulations require that have a site plan approval. That is, understanding you want that approval, and understanding these are the people who would grant that approval.
It'd be easier to do
You're gonna
it.
keep,
No, you,
you're gonna keep them all on this site, or your
Yes, I'll put the trucks in the garage and the trailers in the back.
Okay. So, you will need a, get some outside storage. You're gonna need a site plan for this building, okay? You know what I mean? It's not a lot for what you're into, and it'll give you a nice, complete job. We'll know where everything goes, you'll know where everything goes, and I know you're gonna do nice there, because that is a nice site.
It already looks
That's a
better.
nice site you're looking into now.
It
But
looks
tell
a
me,
lot better.
Thank you.
Which,
how much did you pay to get rid of the cars?
Oh, my God.
which brings up another
Holy
issue.
mackerel.
yeah. What's that?
The prior owner has requested a bond release.
Really?
We've got, I don't know, $2,500 bond or something
And
on that
25 years
property.
old?
The things that were required was clean the site up, and the second thing was plant, I don't know, 4 or 6 trees or so along the, I guess that would be the northerly property line. So he's already cleaned the site up, so part of it has been done. But, yeah, but because the prior owner doesn't control the property anymore,
Well,
he's incapable of putting the plants in and will be incapable of getting his bond back. So I just wanted to, since this is happening, I wanted to bring that up to the commission, just for what it's
How many years
worth.
did he have to put the trees in?
Oh, I don't know, 20 years probably, yeah, it was a long time.
Longer than 20 years.
It was longer than 20 years. You also had that time to clean the property up, which you didn't do either, so.
We're not
I
doing that
would guess
right now.
30
but
years
gee,
at least.
Do whatever you gotta do, Tom. Get this thing nice.
Thank you.
You're gonna do a nice job, I'm sure.
So if we have the site plan, then we could, it'll make it easier for you going forward.
Okay.
Because-
Now, administratively, is this something where Mr. DiBiaso is requesting a change of use?
Mhm.
Is it something where tonight you would consider and deliberate on his change of use without the outdoor storage and require that if he wants the outdoor storage, he returns with the site plan? Or what is your thought at this point? It's gotten very, very quiet over there somehow.
You want to get in there?
Yes.
We can do that.
So if we approve it,
You're gonna have to come back.
and you get the site plan done, bring the site plan on,
So if you want
and then you
support
get your
shows
C, then you
outside,
get,
if
then you
want
get your
support shows
CO,
outside.
even though you got it already.
Okay.
All right?
So I gotta come for another meeting for the site plan, or just hand the site plan in?
Just give it to the office there, I don't think you need to show up.
But
If Al-
you've
if
got to
Alan
make a
thinks he
site
does-
plan application
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
a site plan from an engineer.
Yes.
But hang on a second, if there will be outdoor storage proposed in that site plan, doesn't it have to come before the commission?
Yeah.
Yes, unquestionably, that's why I'm saying,
Yeah.
it's an application
Yeah.
with
I thought you were
14
saying it was
copies,
administrative.
one of which will go to Rod Williams, et cetera, definitely,
Okay.
yeah, and it would come back, so, y- my suggestion,
You
he's
wanna
done
keep
so
moving
much
on this,
work
right?
there, let him get his business
Yeah.
in there, and approve that, but
And you said you're in, where, Hamden now?
My office is in Hamden now.
So
yes.
is that where the trucks are now?
Yes, some are there and some are, when I'm working on the building, I use the trailers there to take the debris away.
Yeah. Then you know, until we approve it, we're gonna have to keep them where they are, and, you know.
Okay.
keep 'em- Right, Al? Get the-
right.
Any questions?
No, I don't think so.
Nope.
I think we're good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for waiting, thanks.
Thank
for-
you very much.
Thanks for
I'm
your
sorry
patience.
Sorry for the late hour. Take the day off tomorrow, we pay.
High speakers.
Thank you, guys.
Excellent. Deliberation, right? We don't have any.
Okay.
We got the unchanged use.
No, we just gotta go up to the top. I don't think we have anything here. Right? This, oh, we gotta deal with the canvas.
Yeah.
We gotta deal with that first thing.
We gotta
gotta
do, yeah, we gotta deliberate
Yeah.
on everything.
And get a motion,
Unless,
Glenn?
unless you wanted to take that half-hour break now before deliberating?
No, I think we're good.
Need a
I'll make a motion to say no.
Motion to deliberate, yeah.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
Who made the motion?
Ken made the
Oh,
motion.
you
I
made the
second.
motion? Okay, you seconded it? Okay. Okay, very good. Well, first thing we got to talk about is the special permit for Washington Avenue, 104 Washington Avenue. And this is certainly something that I suppose we should talk about here in deliberation, since it's so controversial, and it's clearly, in my view, the school is a school, it's too close to the school, and I give that to you, per se. That's the way I see it. I think it's just too close to the school to go any further on it as far as the special permit goes.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Everything that I've heard and looked at, it's still, the school is a school.
Brian?
It's a school. It is, and I think some arguments were made, and, I mean.
I can't hear you.
Some arguments were made, but if we go back in time, it is a school. And it has been a school, and it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a question of this commission's interpretation of its ordinance and how it's treated schools. And if there was inconsistency, I think, listening to what Alan's saying, this has been how the commission has seen it, that it's a school and has been treated as such. And so I don't, it's hard for me to get past that or to want to depart from what I see has been the view and interpretation of the commission in recent years.
Ken?
I do believe our interpretation. I'm also concerned, though, there's lots of inconsistencies that seem questionable, whether it be the tax benefits of schools versus, how it's listed on the assessor's record. Like, some of those things make me question it. those are just things that I don't think we're gonna solve tonight. Those are some concerns that I think are gonna be points that are gonna be drawn out.
Mhm.
You know, I'm not gonna make that determination, but I think that it's questionable what the final definition of it being a school is. Just some of my first thoughts on this, so.
Okay. Well, can I get a motion to deny the application?
I'll second
Simply
it.
because it's too close to the school. Can you make a motion?
I'll second it.
You made the motion?
You make the
Okay.
motion.
Paul made the motion, and can you second it?
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
And as far as the obligatory reason for the denial,
It is because it's too close to the school. The commission sees it as a school. It has been a school, and we discussed that
Past
so many
practice.
times. Okay? You got it?
Got it.
Ladies?
Got it.
Okay, good enough. Okay.
Now,
Ridge Road, it's a special permit. We're gonna, he's asked for a continuation on that. Can I get a motion to continue?
I'll make a motion to continue.
I'll second that. Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's continued. Very good. And then the next two are continued. We have the Ridge Road,
so
wait, I gotta get my page turned here.
Yeah.
Huh?
that's-
Yeah. Okay, Stillman Road.
So-
Stillman Road.
well, hold on a second. So you're gonna do the site plans, you're gonna do the site plan for 104 Washington?
Well, I thought, we can do it separately? I did the.
Yes.
Okay. Get a motion to deny the site plan for Washington, for 104 Washington Avenue.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Paul made a motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And if it's not apparent, you have to deny the site plan if you have no special permit?
No, well, that's what I thought it was. No special permit, we have nothing. Okay. Good enough. Aren't we? Okay,
And then, since you're voting, you're gonna vote to continue the site plan for Ridge Road also?
I think we did.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Let's make it clear.
Yeah, we'll do the site plan
Okay.
now. So I'll make a motion to
Continue the site plan?
continue the site
And
plan.
get a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good, thank you. Alan, can we move forward?
Who made the motion? I'm sorry.
Paul did.
You got- Are you
We
okay
wanna
there,
do the
Alan?
7-Eleven.
Yeah, I'm good, I'm with you.
Oh, we gotta do the,
Oh, Stillman Road, okay.
You good?
I'm rushing. Stillman Road?
Stillman Road,
1 second, wait, let him get caught up.
still right.
I'm waiting for this, Brian. You good, Alan?
Good.
Okay, good enough. Stillman Road, 10 Stillman Road. I think that, we talked about waiving the sidewalks, and, which there is no sidewalks, I guess there is no sidewalks there. We did waive them prior to this on the last application. They also asked about some signage, which, Andy, you
I'll
explain
work-
to me with that.
I'll work with them in that comment. The problem is that they had this little, it was a car parking lot. By putting the addition in, they're occupying some of the space that parking lot had before. So from a circulation standpoint, I just felt it just didn't work very well. It's not a big deal, really,
Okay,
but
so you
but
could- you
it's
could
something,
take-
I'll work with them on it, we'll figure it out.
Okay. Okay, and I just like a motion to approve as it was
Just make-
presented
just make
then,
it clear
with a
the-
waiver of, I'm sorry,
Just make clear the existing site plan with 15 outdoor storage is still considered.
Right.
There's no
Yep.
change.
Yeah, they didn't come in with a special
Yeah.
permit, so this 15 is what they've got, and that's what they continue.
put it in
with.
order.
For the record.
Still in place.
Okay, good.
And
You made a motion?
I'll make a motion to
Okay.
approve it, waiving the sidewalks and staff's
And the
comments.
signage.
And the signage.
Everything is with certainly staff comments. Okay, so I got a motion?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Who had
Aye.
the second?
Aye.
Rod
Williams.
did. Rod.
Rod, yep, okay. Valley Services off, we're down to,
Crown.
113, 413 Washington Avenue. Okay, that was just presented to us, and, it's a 7-Eleven that's going in, and it's, there's really not much to talk about. We certainly discussed this one pretty thoroughly. So, I mean, as it was presented, the DOT will take care of whatever else that needs to be taken on the road travel, or on the curb cuts. So I'd like to get a motion to approve it as it was presented.
I'll make the motion to approve 413 Washington Avenue as it was approved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No,
You're not in favor?
no.
Okay. It's 4-1. Okay. Okay, we go down to the change of use on 125 State Street that we just talked about. So, I mean, the change of use is there, and we talked about them bringing in a site plan, so we'll have a full knowledge of what's going on the site. So I'd like to get it approved with contingents on the site plan coming.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, we can approve the change of use, but it's the outdoor storage that comes into question, and to have his outdoor storage, he has to
Then
do
he'll
a
need
site
to
plan
come-
application,
so,
so
yeah,
it's just a
right.
different process. Am I correct in that?
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, he could use, we're giving him
He can-
permission to run his business.
Yeah.
But to keep some stuff outside of his business, he has to present a site plan, so.
Change the use to
He's gonna keep it the way it is, he's just gonna keep what he needs there to work.
and not
on the
store
building.
anything. He
And not
needs to
store
come,
anything.
he needs to come back before us for that.
Okay,
Should we mention, you could see it very easy, the change of use, and then, I guess, how do we assume that things don't get stored there long-term? That's just kind of, that second
Well,
application.
It
you have
just
it.
becomes an enforcement issue. Yeah, which is like similar to that, that
Yeah.
building that went up on Sackett
Sackett
Point.
Point,
Yeah,
yeah,
with
with
the
the
tree cutters, yeah.
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 Where I don't think they realized that they couldn't park there because we didn't talk about it
Yeah.
really. And they had to come back again and they had to get approval for it.
Will you guys be talking to him about his current use and what he could grow to as far as the approval and site plan? I mean, if he has 5 trucks now, he's.
I guess we could discuss that, he has to come to us.
He's gotta
with a
come
site
back,
plan.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the issue. If you approve the change of use, I think it would be sufficient to just say, we approve the change of use from automotive sales and repair to a contractor's business, which is office storage, and without any approval for outdoor storage.
That
He
sounds
would have
great.
to, he would have to return a commission if he wanted that.
Yeah,
well,
So,
make that motion, Ken.
I'll make the motion for approval with the language that's, outside storage is not included for the change of use for the new
Okay.
business.
I have a motion, and then a second, and Rod second. Ken and Rod, okay, I have a motion and a second.
who had the second?
Rod? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good. So that gets down there, we got minutes, September 9th, 2024 minutes, motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, and the motion and the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
okay.
I don't know about that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, did a nice job.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the Town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.